Now, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Smokin' Patriot. We're going to talk a little Trek today, and we got a very special guest. All right, we got a special guest. I'm honored to have him on. We have the Nerdporeal Lifeform. We got this beautiful person right here on with us today. So,
yeah, beautiful. I don't know about that.
I'm sorry.
What I look like. People know what I look like now. I'm a big dude. I'm bald, round-headed, and it's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to finally be on you guys' streams. I'm a big fan. Not like Ryan Johnson fan, where I'm a fake fan. I've actually been on your, actually been in your chats, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's we're glad to have you. We've always had good discussions in the chat, whether it be Revens or Katalas. So we've always had good discussion. So I figure, you know what?
It's safe to say that when it comes time for you to direct our movie, you're not going to just make it a completely unlikable mess.
Exactly. I agree. So is it potato Revan or potato Revan?
I don't know. I mean,
I always joke. I always make that joke on Discord about with him and stuff.
Oh, I always joke around with him, and I always show him this. I've always got his children, and I'm always hungry, so he needs to behave.
French fries, mashed potatoes,
whatever.
Tell him if he's not careful, you'll donate them to Five Guys.
So I have to understand they call them French fries, but they're actually from Belgium. Does that make them refugees? Okay, maybe that's too soon. I didn't mean it.
Oh my god.
That was fantastic.
Somebody's ears are bleeding now.
Somebody's going anyways, let's get down to some Trek. So I've done the overlays and kind of starting with Enterprise and going our way through the timeline up to Voyager, and then I've saved the two best for last. Mm-hmm. And you know exactly which ones I'm thinking of. I don't even have to say a word.
Best in the most ironic way possible.
Yes, I know. So the first one we got is Enterprise with NX-01, Enterprise, and captained by this handsome guy, Scott Bakula, or Captain Archer. I
think he's underrated personally.
Definitely.
I feel like he's one of those actors that never got the. Hang on a second. We got Potato Revan, the man who said he wasn't going to show up, but then randomly shows up.
I can leave again if you want.
Well, I mean, you're here. I mean, no point in being rude now.
So it's Potato Revan, not Potato Revan.
I don't get what the joke is.
Okay. So have you ever heard of potato, tomato, tomato?
Oh yeah.
It's the exact same spelling, but it's in how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart pronounces it potato or tomato, and Mark Hamill pronounces it tomato or potato.
Well, I call it potato.
Did you see that? Sorry, not to get on a thing. Did you see? I think it was Bite Squad or DoorDash. It showed who was it? I'm trying to remember who the. Oh no, it was Mark Hamill and Patrick Stewart, and they were each like saying, one's like, "Oh, I got this with tomato sauce."
That's Patrick Stewart, yeah.
Yeah, that was him, and then Mark Hamill said, "I got tomato this," and then so they kept going back and forth.
Yeah, so I assumed it was maybe in English. I thought it was in like an English thing to pronounce.
It might be, yeah.
Don't forget, he's also an upstart socialist twat.
Yeah,
but that's just.
We're not going to get into that.
I'll just say he destroyed his character of Picard, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So, but yeah, Scott Bakula as Archer. I think portrayed Scott Bakula. I've always said Bakula, and I don't know why.
You're fucking weird, and you should feel bad.
I have a number in my head. Guess which one I wanted is to hear you pronounce.
How are your socks doing?
Sorry, it's an inside thing. But anyways, back to Enterprise here. We're trying to keep this professional. Well,
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know, right? So Enterprise. What were some standout moments? What did you think about the show? Just a little round table briefly on the show. I figure. So
I love Enterprise.
Yeah.
Enterprise, I really liked. I mean, I liked all the show in its entirety. I'll be honest, because I watched Voyager like week to week from time I was in 7th grade, which was season 4 of Voyager, all the way till the end. So I watched
need a
that all the
hug?
way. What's up?
Oh,
Do you need a hug?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So I watched that, and then Enterprise came out the following year, like right after Voyager ended. So, I was I initially was disappointed that they were doing the prequel thing. I thought they were going to do something further down the line, another 24th century show, maybe a generation in the future, or maybe even something like New Frontier. I don't know if you guys know the New Frontier books that came out around that time. Captain
I've heard the name. I don't know anything about them, but I have heard of them.
Aren't they like the Captain Dax books and the USS Titan stuff?
I'm not sure. It's Captain Calhoun is the captain, and let's just say the story came up with by Peter David, and he's been known for writing a lot of Babylon 5 episodes, a lot of the good ones. So
I love Babylon 5.
So
But
it's too bad Babylon 5 is not part of Star Trek, but let's just say Deep Space Nine kind of got some stuff from it. Going back, Enterprise was just kind of off-putting. I watched the pilot and then I watched the episode that came out afterwards, and it was off-putting. I hated the song.
I loved it.
It's been a long
I love the song. I
don't like it.
I always like that song.
I always skip it.
I always like that.
It's cringe, in my opinion. I'm sure my cringe is someone else's pleasure. But I found that off-putting, and then the whole idea that the Klingons looked the way they did in the 24th century, the way they looked, they kept that look for the 22nd century. I initially had an issue with because it was inconsistent with the original series.
Right.
How they looked in the original series, they didn't have the ridges; they just had the face paint and the mustaches, the Fu Manchu, the evil Asian look.
Yeah,
they did rectify that whole situation and
yes,
gave
they did.
A pretty good explanation.
Yeah, and that's in my one of my favorite seasons of all Star Trek is season 4 of Enterprise. When it got really good.
Mine is season 3.
Yeah, I think season 3 is kind of what I feel like in a way season 3 of Enterprise is what kind of Voyager should have looked like in a way, like a beaten up ship constantly like
the Year of Hell, just like the Year of Hell part.
Exactly, kind of
Well, do you actually know about the Year of Hell? What the whole thing was?
To be a whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, and then I think Berman kind of blocked it because Rick Berman really wanted Voyager to basically be TNG light.
Yeah,
and so every episode, as better YouTubers, like it was Dave Cullen has said, they basically look like they come out of space dock every episode. Like B'Elanna just must be that damn good of an engineer. I like her character, but she must be that damn good of an engineer to. Every time they get into a battle, it just looks,
Oh, I'm gonna get to Voyager. We got Voyager in those lists. So.
Yes. Okay. So, but going back to Enterprise, I did like season 3. Season 3, the finale of season 2 was really where it started to take off.
Yeah.
So I loved season 3 especially, but what I really loved about Enterprise, because I'm a big fan of time travel. But I really, really liked how frustrated Archer actually got with Daniels.
Yeah, he wasn't just like, oh, okay, we'll just skip around time doing stuff. He was like, I have a life and I want to get back to it, so can we hurry this up?
It's like, I've got a steak cooking, like, can I get back to my own time? But
it's kind of like Picard and Q, that type of dynamic, almost very annoying and stuff.
Yeah.
What I actually really liked, one of the scenes was, Phil, do you remember when he was standing over the podium and on the way to the, I don't know, was it the main weapon or was it the mock weapon? And Archer was going to die, and Daniels was like, "No, you have to do it." And he said, "If
No.
I don't do it, someone else will."
Yeah, no, that was the
remember that.
season finale of season 3 because he's going to.
Or like the next episode,
Yeah.
episode before. One of those two, either the finale or the one before it.
But all I'm going to say is the only one about Enterprise that I'm going to genuinely say this is fuck the finale,
Yes.
and fuck everything about it. And whoever wrote it should literally have to watch STD on loop for the next 10,000 reincarnations of their existence, while sitting next to Tilly and Burger King.
Wow. Okay. Anyways,
No, actually, I have a question for you.
Smell that.
Yeah. Guys, I actually have a question for you. So, the show writers regret writing it. The actors regret putting it out there. So, if they hate it that much, shouldn't that make it not canon?
what are you in reference to?
The very last episode of Enterprise.
You mean the very last episode of Real Star Trek?
No, for me, that's the episode before.
That was a great two-parter, by the way.
Yeah, that was
with RoboCop. First time RoboCop appeared before Into Darkness. So Peter Weller.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
Oh, dude, that was dead.
Oh, okay.
That episode.
I've told Revan this. Enterprise did the best modernization of the original series while still keeping that feel of the original series.
I agree.
Yes.
I don't know why they couldn't do that. I mean, I didn't have a big problem with the bridge of the Enterprise in season 2, but at the same time, it was just a little too much of a departure.
Yeah, I mean, damn. I'm hearing an echo, by the way.
I don't know where it's coming from. Actually, I'd say that's coming from you, but I don't know where it's coming from because I'm not getting an echo.
I mean, I never get an echo on my side though.
We always
I'm on my headset.
Yeah, but we always get an echo from you. In many, many streams, we're after getting echoes from you.
No one's ever said anything. Anyways, all right then. Never mind then. I just happened to.
For whenever the echo appears, just watch the little lights when everyone else is silent.
All right.
That's what I do.
All right. So actually, this is probably the best way to move into this.
I'll just be quiet because I haven't watched TOS, and nobody wants to hear my opinions on TOS because I grew up with a man who hated TOS. So I'll just be quiet now.
We gotta do something to change that.
You don't like TOS?
Phil, it's too late, but I'll tell you something though. I absolutely love the TOS movies, but the TOS show, I can't. I've tried it. I can't.
You've been poisoned.
Only watch season 1.
No. Let me tell you about. So my grandfather, when TOS used to be on the loop, my grandfather would be making fun of the sets, making fun of the acting, and I grew up with this, and that still is inside my head, and I don't like anything from like any sci-fi things like that from the 60s and that, because it just looks ridiculous. You've seen me a few times posting GIFs in different Discords that we're in. It's just been like acting, and it's like Shatner from TOS. But I heard that part. But I really like the TOS movies.
Okay, it's a beautifully cheesy series.
It really is. I mean,
very colorful, very vibrant.
Yep.
Actually, here's a little known fact. Did you know that you didn't ever see Scotty's left hand?
Yeah, because he was in D-Day, and he got his finger shot off. So you see his hand once. He's carrying the tribbles into the galley, and he's like, "Oh, they're into the machinery, all right." So I could talk about TOS for years.
Yeah, or that. I think it might have been the same episode where you see him and he's holding up the glass of whiskey. That's someone else's hand that's positioned properly, so it looks like Scotty's actually holding the glass of whiskey.
Well, I think there was the episode where he says, "Oh, it's green," and that's the one where the Kelvins the Kelvins take over the ship, they turn people into little crystalline, turn people into crystals. And if you disobey them, they'll crush the crystal. And it killed like a red shirt. It killed like a red shirt yeoman or something. But yeah, I think it was that.
Killing a red shirt human. That's nothing new.
Yeoman.
I was gonna throw
yeoman, not human. Yeoman. It was a woman.
I was seriously. I was
Still
gonna throw a red shirt gif in with all this, but I didn't want to.
But no, there's a joke that I absolutely love about TNG. It's like you'd see, Kirk pointing over and he's talking to three red shirts and he's like, "Dig 3 graves over there. I'll explain later."
I mean, I can't really say you're wrong, but I mean, TNG gave us a lot of classic moments. Again, for how we all can agree, TNG in that time was
TOS.
Sorry, TOS. I heard TNG for some reason, got stuck in my head. TOS was very. It stuck like okay. Phil, when was the first time you saw TOS?
Oh, let me think about. I know. I don't remember how old I was. It would have had to have been. I would have been living in Orlando, which means it would have been when I was like before I turned 8, and we had a. I almost said DVD. We had a VHS of the episode "City on the Edge of Forever."
Okay.
And I watched that quite frequently, and up until I guess I was like 12, 13. That was the only episode of the original series I saw.
Was it the blue VHS? I used to collect. I had up to 50 VHS tapes of each episode.
I think the VHS itself was black, and it had like a purple label.
Okay, then that's the 80s. That's the 80s distribution. Then I collected the one that came out in the 90s, so that was the blue one.
Okay. So what was your first experience with TOS then, Nerdporeal?
Well, I mean, it was on. I was born in the 80s, so I was a kid in the 90s. So it was on. It was on the same station that TNG and that TNG was on. It was on Channel 50. So there were times where I was home. There were times where they had the episode. They had various TOS episodes on, and I remember catching a couple of them. The one with the Gorn Arena was one that
That's
I remember
a great
seeing.
one.
And then there was one where they rescue a man with black. There was an episode where they rescue a man with black hair from a ship, and then he tries to take over the ship. And of course, I found out that was Khan. So I remember seeing those 2 episodes before I was even a fan.
What was that? It was called Space Seed, wasn't it?
Yes. So because I mean, before my first experience, and I say this in my videos. My first experience or my first exposure to Star Trek was TNG, but it just seemed like they were just sitting in rooms talking all the time. And I was like 5. I was 5 or 6 years old, so I found it boring because I grew up with I had video games. I'm a big Nintendo guy. Mario and Zelda was my first my first thing I was ever a fan of. And I used to watch just a whole bunch of animated shows at the time. So. But then I remember seeing, and this you might laugh at this, but my initial interest in Star Trek, I saw my dad had Star Trek V: The Final Frontier on. It was on HBO.
Oh boy!
Or something. And
Lord!
I'm like, what is this? He's like, this is Star Trek. I'm like, no, this is not Star Trek. The captain's not bald. Who is this captain? And so this was my first exposure to actually the original series crew and Mr. Spock. And I was intrigued by Mr. Spock's ears initially because of the fact that I played The Legend of Zelda. At least this is what I think. I don't remember. This was when I was 6 or 7 years old. But you know how Link has, he's an elf, so he has pointed ears and stuff. Well, I kind of found I really liked the dynamic between Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk, and then the third guy, the grouchy guy who ended up becoming McCoy to me, or Bones. And I just him with those flying. He had those hovering boots and stuff. And that I thought it was wacky, but it was for a kid. It was fun. I liked it. So that was my first exposure. And then of course I tell you I saw those TOS episodes. But it wasn't until I was in fifth grade, fifth grade or sixth grade, around the time of the 30th anniversary, which was 1996, that I watched I already saw the TOS movies, the first 6, earlier that year, because I got into Star Wars original trilogy. So because there was no more movies for Star Wars, I noticed the Star Trek films, and I noticed that the character of Spock dies in Star Trek 2. And
Spoilers!
I've never heard of such a thing. I was like, wow, nobody is safe. So, and I say this in my video, by the way. So I rented all the movies, and then a little bit later, when I was in 6th grade, I wanted to get all the tapes. I watched Space Seed and Spock's Brain. Those were the first two tapes I owned.
Okay,
and
I'm so sorry.
I love them.
For the second one, not the first one.
I was a kid. I liked Spock's Brain. I still like Spock's Brain, despite some of its problems. But I really liked those 2 episodes. I loved the music. It was all very exotic to me. It was very colorful. The music was beautiful. And I loved the makeup of the alien women. I liked the outfits. I loved the characters. I mean, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy are 3 of the best characters that have ever been created, in my opinion. Yes,
can't disagree.
I mean, you can't. I mean, you get Spock all. I mean, again, Spock, very logical, very even keeled. Kirk, who's emotional but also logical at the same time. So he's kind of like
he's a true even keeled.
He really is.
He has the balanced Spock and McCoy on his shoulder.
And then you get McCoy, who's like in Star Trek 4 when he's like he sees Spock and he's like, "Excuse me, Doctor, I'm receiving a number of distress calls," and you just see like McCoy back away a little. I don't doubt it.
But one of my favorite lines from McCoy is, "I need my pain."
No, that was Kirk. That was Kirk that says that.
Oh yeah, well, screw it then. Okay, I'll go back to bed.
But
but that very same scene that you're talking about is Cybok, Spock's half brother, who we never heard of until that movie. Basically,
it's a trait with him. He don't like to talk about siblings.
Apparently, he shows McCoy his he basically makes McCoy relive his father's passing and stuff. And that's a very
yes, that's it.
That's one of DeForest Kelly's best scenes. I think of his best scenes is McCoy, in my opinion. Definitely his best in the movies. And
yes.
it really, and then of course after that, Kirk is like, I need my pain. I don't want you to do to them I don't want you to do to me what you did to them, and make them vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable and stuff. So. But yeah, people give Star Trek 5 crap. I mean, I know the visuals weren't great. It was Critical Drinker did a video about it, well, basically saying that the production was a nightmare. I wouldn't disagree, because Shatner's never directed a movie before. That movie was written and directed by Shatner. So,
oh my God, Star Trek 5, that dance gives me PTSD.
I'm so sorry. As Obi-Wan would say, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I watched Star Trek. So my history teacher was a complete and utter fucking nerd, right? He actually had a replica in our history class of the HMS Enterprise, except he took the HMS off it. He bought it when he went on tour to see the Enterprise in England, right? And he took the HMS off. So it literally just said Enterprise.
So there is an HMS Enterprise, Her Majesty's ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the same? Is that the same time as the U.S.? So this is like the 19th century.
This is a galleon. No. This is a galleon.
This is like from 1700s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like there's been actually at one point there was a HMS Enterprise, HMS A Enterprise, HMSC Enterprise, and USS Enterprise all at the same time.
Okay. Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, like my first introduction was as a kid. I was homeschooled. And we had a little like breakfast bar that overlooked the TV. So we'd sit down and watch cooking shows, whatever. Well, I see Star Trek come on, and I had already seen Star Trek 4 at this time. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, wait, this doesn't look the same. This looks older. So I'm watching it, and literally, it was the very first episode I saw was this episode.
Yeah.
This was
Kiss
it.
him, kiss him.
Oh no! Hold on a second. I showed Revan this earlier.
I saw that commercial.
I didn't even know it existed.
Really, because this was right before Into Darkness came out. I actually got the game, the video game. They made a it was a prequel to Into Darkness, but it was it takes place after.
Yeah, I remember that
2009.
Yeah.
And let's just say the game was not great.
I heard it was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
But you're basically fighting Gorn. That you're basically the Gorn are the enemies in the video game and stuff. So, but they got all the actors back, before they were too expensive.
Although while you're talking about the JJ Trek video game, I feel like I should bring up how great Bridge Crew is.
I've really wanted to play Bridge Crew, but I don't have a VR system.
I have it on on PS4, and I have the PlayStation VR thing.
You're rich.
Fucking love that thing.
Is that an official?
Yes, it's official.
I heard that somebody made something for the Enterprise D or something.
Yes.
And
that's
CBS
also
went
real.
after them. CBS decided
That's
to go after
also
them
real.
because they're jerks.
Yep. Yeah. It's
What that was somebody. A fan project recreated the Enterprise D in it's something separate from Bridge Crew, but that's what it was. I believe. Fuck, I forget what it was called. It was Project
Hold on.
something.
So Eddie Gannon says Michelle Nichols made a hit with the song and the dance scene. She deserves to be hit with the song from the dance scene.
That's a bit extreme.
Why though?
Let's not trigger any more
Am I gonna have to
PTSD.
question my friendship with you?
No. Anyways.
Do you know that Nichelle Nichols was going to quit Star Trek?
Yeah.
Like in the first season, but a certain civil rights leader came up to her, told her that he was her biggest fan, and that her being on the show was very important.
Yep.
Did you know that Michelle Nichols is the reason why Whoopi Goldberg got into acting?
Yep, that's exactly. At least that's what Whoopi Goldberg says.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg said that. There's a
black woman on the screen, and she ain't no maid.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking my spotlight.
Good Lord. But I mean, this show was truly revolutionary because, let's just get on this. Let's go from right to left. You have a Russian, American, Asian, Scottish, alien, and black. And this time, because the Vietnam War. Okay, what?
She's from Uganda.
Okay, whatever. But correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the Vietnam War going on at this time too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means Chekhov and Sulu were they were the two, I guess you could say, at least favorite types of people you would want to see in a sci-fi show. And yet they were main cast.
Yeah.
I mean, love or hate the OG, it broke so much ground in terms of uniting people. And nobody wants to ever give it credit for that.
It was never, it basically showed that it didn't matter. It didn't matter what, what race you were. It didn't matter what creed you are. It didn't matter what sex you are. And they didn't refer to it then, but I'm sure they probably had that in mind too. Orientation. None of that mattered. What mattered was was that you were professional, that you were able to work well with people. I mean, this is about Star Trek is about the human condition. I mean, it's the original series is not nearly as allegorical as like some of the later shows, but it still had that. There's still some allegory. It still challenged, the viewer.
Well, there was always allegory because if you remember, in DS9 and that, DS9 was one of the first shows to actually show a lesbian kiss, and which was actually really far for its time. Was
talking about the original series though.
Okay.
We're talking about
it's fine. What was it? DS9. The character Garrick was supposed to be gay too.
The actor said he wanted him to be. Now he's saying that.
That's what they originally were going to do, but Berman put his foot down on that.
I don't believe that for a minute.
I don't believe that at all.
Well, okay. in the show where they had like Quark turning into a woman. No,
that was hilarious.
Oh God, Eddie. That
was one of the greatest jokes Star Trek has ever told.
I want to say yes, but here's the thing: Revan and Phil, they're actually regulars on my stream, so they come and go as they please, and Nerdporeal's our honored guest. So I don't typically let just anybody who's watching just jump on and join the chat.
Actually, so me and CSA started Potato Revan, and Phil actually was originally part of the original streaming group, and then when they moved over, they're now part of my channel, and we're kind of bouncing around each other's channels. Yeah, and we're also friends.
Yeah. Eddie. Yeah, it's nothing personal or whatnot. I mean, one day if I have enough active viewers, I might do like an open line, kind of like what Bird of Prey does, where I'll be like, okay, do you have a Discord or a Twitter or a Facebook or something? If I get couple dozen people active in the chat, kind of thing, maybe down the road, I'm not against it, but just right now, I like to have those who I actually know because I know who they are and everything, because I've seen streams where that went awry very quickly. So
I've actually
nothing against you, Eddie. I got nothing against you.
Yeah, I've actually been on the anti-Trekker. I used to be one of his mods, and
I'm then so he's a salty Trekker now.
I don't give two fucks.
God, I'm not.
So anyway, we were on it, and he done an open lines, and he'd be there, and he'd be like, "Hello," and someone came on and using the N-word, like the whole time.
Yeah, but
Eddie's a good guy. He's joined me on some of my streams.
Right.
I met him through the Star Wars guys. I've been streaming with them on Tuesdays. They're two young guys who have been. They started watching Star Trek. They're Star Wars guys. The name implies something, but they started watching the original series for the first time ever. They've never watched Star Trek before, and so I'm on that with them, and I'm kind of giving my take on the original series, kind of doing my thing, and talking forever about it. So
yeah.
But the question is, let people on that and stuff. You truly know me.
I feel sad for them doing that now, because nowadays is not a good time to be a Star Trek fan.
No, sorry, Eddie. I wasn't talking about you. No, I'm just talking about the risk of open lines. It's not you.
No, Eddie's not like that. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Oh no, I know. I'm sub to Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's nothing against Eddie. Just right now, at the moment, just those who I actually know is who I want on. But again, down the road, maybe. But I'm still in my infancy and getting my feet. So, but we're gonna jump into the next one, Star Trek: Next Generation. This one's probably the most familiar to everybody.
Yes,
make it so.
I mean, so if I have to say that one of my least favorite shows of going from Enterprise to Voyager, Next Generation's low on my list.
What?
Okay, here's the thing. I do not hate the show, but to me, it just I don't know what it was.
Give me a nerd card.
What?
I have to side with Revan on this one, believe it or not.
Okay, did I say I hated it?
No, but it should be higher on your list.
Okay, higher than okay. So right now on my list, it goes DS9, original
Yeah.
series, Enterprise, Next Generation, Voyager.
It should be on your list DS9 and TNG. And
Okay.
then TOS.
See, I grew up with
disagree.
TOS.
I disagree. I like TNG, but I disagree.
Disagree with who?
I disagree with the potato.
Excuse me, my pronouns are God.
I have a question. Is there a potato Malik too?
Yeah, but I kind of ate him.
Hey, remember?
Excuse
My
me.
babies!
Yes. Remember,
If you're not
behave.
careful,
That's the
he'll
way
donate
it-
them to
that's the
Five
way
Guys.
it's set.
Yes. And I've been
Wait,
craving a
is-
burger lately.
So you're
I'm-
following
I'm-
the rule of one.
No, you see, I used to be a Sith and then I got kicked out and it's like, oh, come on, guys, let me back in. And I'm like, no, whenever we have you here, man, you always make things weird. It's like, why? It's like, last time you got stabbed by a lightsaber, you screamed, harder, daddy.
So,
No.
I'm not okay. Anyways, we're moving on. TNG, okay. Enterprise, Enterprise Galaxy class, captained by this man, Jean-Luc Picard.
Actually, that's really interesting. If you look at his pips, they're pearls.
if you look at his what?
His pips,
Pips?
they're actually pearls. Look at them.
What?
No, they're
What
not.
tips? Where are
They
pips?
don't
look like
on the neck.
Oh, pins. Oh yeah, the
The
four
pins.
pins basically means captain.
Yeah,
No,
I
he's
know.
saying they look like pearls. Is what he's saying.
Pearls?
They don't
Yeah.
look like
I don't know.
pearls to me.
I wouldn't know.
Well, there's actually a couple of weird errors in the uniforms, and they tried out a couple of different variants. The reason why they actually
Don't
had
say
so
variant.
many,
Don't say variant. Don't say variant.
why?
Just
Should,
don't.
what?
Just don't say
Because
variant.
of the crew.
It's all over the world right now.
Anywho, so there's so many
Anyways.
there's so many different iterations of the uniforms because the original TNG uniforms were so uncomfortable that the actors were. Go
Yeah, they
ahead.
were tight as hell, if I remember correctly.
No,
Seasons 1 and 2.
they were so uncomfortable that it was the actors.
Nearly refused to come back.
So
Yep.
so they got new uniforms in season 3. If I
Yeah.
remember, and then
No,
they
it
put
was
out
throughout
they
the
put
entire
out-
thing.
They
So
put out,
you
they put out all the lower, like, you know, the secondary characters, not even the secondary characters, like all the other bridge crew, they put them in the tight uniforms.
Yeah. But they also tried out different uniforms on it. Like, one uniform they tried out, which I really loved, was that Velcro jacket with embossed shoulders.
You talking about the one that Captain
Uh,
Picard wears?
Yeah, drama unlawed and things like that.
I think
Arms
that
wide
was
open.
like the captain's variant only.
No, yeah, but I'm talking about real world explanation. Like, they were trying it out to see how it looked.
Which I'm trying to understand. Which
Wait, I talk about this uniform right
no,
here.
that's a fucking scant.
It's interesting
Sorry.
how they.
Hey,
it's
so
interesting
actually-
how they predicted some of this, you know. 'Cause
So actually, guys,
someone
we're
at the
white.
convention. I went to the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas. Someone wore that, and
Oh,
I looked. I was like, why? I was thinking why, but then again,
Did they
not that
shout
there's
it just
nothing wrong
again?
with that,
Did they
God.
shadow you to take away your male gaze?
I guess I don't know.
Actually,
I don't even know what to say.
actually, our friend, she actually had the a funny response to that. No, Maxis, someone said, like, was talking about the male gaze, and she's like, I like male gaze and female gaze as well.
Excuse me.
I'm not commenting. I'm just. And anyways. So TNG had kind of a lot of.
Yes, that's it, Phil. That's it.
This a better picture.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
Go to Thunderdome.
I really, really like that jacket.
Yeah,
But so-
yeah.
So
Is that the
something
one with
really...
is that the one with the blue shoulders that Picard wore?
No.
It's like the gray. Okay, so you know how like biker jackets, they kind of have those like ridged like shoulders
Can you
on the
put the-
jackets.
Can you put the photo into the stream?
Give me one.
So why are they doing that? I don't know, did it bother you guys? But the fact that the admirals had no set uniform, the fact that every admiral showed up having their own uniform was kind of annoying to me.
In the first seasons, the admirals each had, well, they didn't each have their own uniform, but they had the same uniforms in the first season. And
yeah, with that big gold sash.
Which looked absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But, just the future, the Admiral uniform did change throughout TNG, but all the Admirals still had the same uniform.
The best variant of the Admiral's uniform is the late DS9 TNG era movie Admiral's uniform.
Are you talking about the ones like you see in like DS9?
Yes,
or...
the Dominion War era uniforms. Those Admirals. I really like those uniforms.
All right, hang on. I got that.
Like Admiral Ross and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's got the gray shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah, Eddie, I know. I'm just saying, like, I remember the first time I watched the pilot episode, and we're evacuating the ship, and you see all these people walking by, and then there's like hardly anybody, and then you just see this guy walking around in this, and I'm just like, wait, what? And I was in high school when I first actually saw TNG. I'm just like, that guy's wearing a skirt. He's wearing like a sundress, basically. It's just a Starfleet uniform.
I don't need to see a man in a sundress.
Was that from the first episode? Okay, yeah. There's that coat, and he's wearing like a gray outfit underneath it.
Yeah,
that was like season 5 or season 6.
I think I'm going to tell you.
5 was the first scene on the Darmok episode.
Yes,
that's season 5. Okay.
So I'm going to tell you how much my grandfather loved TNG. My grandfather was dying, and when he was in the hospital, he used to watch it. He used to watch it with me the whole time. And at his funeral, they actually had the music from Inner Light played. So now, amongst my friend group, there's actually a ban on them playing Inner Light around me because I'll just start crying.
I love that episode. And yeah, that music is very. I love that.
I
love that.
That episode to me causes a bit of a when it comes to Picard with me, because I believe that episode should have fundamentally rebooted Picard as a man.
Yeah, throughout the show, he didn't like kids. He had no experience dealing with kids. He wasn't a family man. He was a career guy.
Yeah.
So he lived a whole lifetime in 25 minutes. He lived a whole lifetime in 25 minutes. I mean, he had a family, he had kids. He experienced his wife dying. He experienced the end of the world. As horrible as that is, but yeah, the music for that episode is stellar. Like it makes me emotional too.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know that episode was named after a George Harrison song?
Yeah,
it's totally different.
Nope, I did not know that.
Who's George Harrison?
He's one of the Beatles.
Who's the Beatles?
So the Inner Light's a very sitar. It's a very Indian sounding song. So he has playing sitar in that one. So.
Well, yeah, but when he also plays on the little flute, that flute, those tin whistles, I swear to God, we had to learn those here for some weird reason.
The Russian flute. I remember that.
Yeah, but no, in Ireland, when you go to school, they try to teach you how to play a tin whistle, and no one learns. It's just it sounds like cats in a blender.
Oh,
basically,
Lord.
Basically like here with the recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the tin whistle sounds so much better.
No, it doesn't. Not in our hands. No, it doesn't.
I always associate the Inner Light because I saw that episode when I was in 7th grade or 8th grade, and that's also the time when I first played the game Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and he plays, an ocarina.
Did you play it?
What's up?
Did you try and play the Inner Light on the Zelda Ocarina? Please.
No, I've not. No, I might. No, I don't think I did. There's only 5 notes. There's only 5 notes.
I'm going to tell you something now. So the two guys, my friend who's in the Discord with us. So when we went to Comic-Con, Michael Dorn was there. And, yep. And so there's a bar. I'm going to send you this picture of the bar. Okay?
Do I need to pull it up?
I'm going to give you the picture of it. Okay?
You could just screen share it.
No, I can't because I have other things open.
All right.
I'm doing adulting.
You're doing adulting.
I can adult.
No.
Anyway,
Yes.
all right. Well, I'm gonna get through just a little bit more here before.
There you go.
Okay, it's gonna take a few minutes for this to happen. So, but TNG I think gave us some great new things. We first had a Klingon Worf right there. Bro, that's a chocolate bar.
There's a story behind this.
This
But
is
you
what you want
finish
me to
it.
show up.
Yes, and there's a story behind it.
All right. Anyways,
That looks like a Milky Way bar.
We're gonna
No.
regret this.
Show it up.
Hey, well, hang on. I gotta upload it here and everything. So that's why
Come
I
on,
said
be
that.
professional.
I have a finger up right now when I think about you. Guess which finger it is?
Your penis.
That's not a finger.
It's a leg.
It's a kickstand. Anyways, TNG gave us some great stuff, new stuff, like a Klingon in Starfleet as head of security. Kind of unheard of because if you watched
Head of security post season 1.
post season 1, the best head of security, I'm just gonna say, of TNG. All right, I know.
Not Denise Crosby. Not Denise Crosby.
Yeah. Well, no, because she came back in the show. Just
No.
Oh
God, Eddie, why?
Did you guys see the Family Guy episode where Stewie abducts the entire cast?
I own that episode.
Okay, so remember how it actually includes Denise Crosby. And Denise Crosby says something, and she's like, "Wait a minute, you're just a baby." And then he's like, "Okay, Denise Crosby." And he shoots her dead.
Vaporizes
Oh,
her.
no.
Yes.
But show the
Forgot
bounty
about
bar.
that part.
All right. Yes, and then I'll show you this, and then we'll get back on to TNG. Okay.
Well, this has to do with TNG. I'm not just being fat. So,
Yes, you are.
shut up. So, so I was in the room and I was eating this bar, and I turned around to our friend and I put it on my forehead and I said, "What if I went to Michael Dorn and said I'm cosplaying a Klingon?"
You know what the candy bars really making me think of right now?
What?
Caddyshack, the pool.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Takes a bite of it.
They all think it's a duty. They all think it's a duty.
Yes.
I would love
Not
to go.
that bad, he just eats it.
Ever since I saw that, I always wanted to get a Lion bar and go to a swimming pool and just chuck it in. Or else even. So, just off topic. One time I was in a lift and I farted.
Off topic.
Off topic.
I've been in a lift and I farted, and this couple with their baby went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And they took the baby out and went to change its diaper.
Good lord.
Did not need to know that.
Yep.
Baby
Anyways.
Baby was
Lord have
probably like,
mercy.
"Mommy, you just changed me. What the hell?"
Oh god. But someone else we got, Q. Probably, I'd say, if I have to take all of the Star Trek characters, going all the series, even those two that I'm not going to name at the moment because we're going to get to them.
Ones that aren't actually.
Yes, I know. Q is probably one of my top 3 favorites of all time because just
Star Trek or characters in general.
No, Star Trek characters.
Okay.
I'm going to differ. I could never stand Q.
Do you know why I loved Q though? It's because just the way he was, that like kind of pompous, arrogant, but the way he would just go about it.
There was a
He's
great,
like,
yeah.
I mean, he's like, "Au contraire, mi capitaine."
Mon Capitan.
It was just a great, like, it just the way him and Patrick Stewart played off of each other. That was just, epic of it's just
I mean,
epic as hell.
and we can't forget what happened to Q in DS9. I mean, come on, that's
I know.
one of the best
That was-
Star Trek
You hit
scenes
me.
ever.
You hit me. Picard never hit me. I'm not Picard. I know you're more easy to provoke.
Yes.
It's
How
too bad
fortuitous for
in,
me.
in a way, I think it was great that Deep Space Nine was able to stand on its own two legs.
Yeah. So actually, a little.
characters.
So
him not
a little-
appearing again in the series, I'm actually okay with because
Yeah, me too.
we all know
Yeah.
we all know how DS9 where DS9 ultimately was.
So
I can agree with that. I think it would have been entertaining to see at least one more episode with Q.
What do you think of
So-
him in Voyager?
I don't remember him in Voyager.
It depends
but
on the
it's-
episode, but all in all, I liked it. But then again, I like Voyager, so
We're gonna get to Voyager.
I like Voyager too.
We're gonna get to Voyager.
It's overrated.
And the last I would say, oh god, the last thing that I think was a big thing that Next Generation brought to us was the Borg.
Yep.
And I'm gonna, and this is something I'm gonna get into with Voyager regarding the Borg. So just put a pin in that, right?
I mean, they're the ultimate. To me, they're the ultimate enemy in Star Trek. And
Yep.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys, I'm sure you've noticed it, but like they keep, every episode they have with the Borg, they always find a way to dumb them down, make them weaker than they initially were.
well,
They
Voyager
were
around the board.
practically invincible in.
I'm gonna bring that up.
Invincible
I'm gonna bring that up
so-
when we get to Voyager because
Right.
we're actually gonna right now get into DS9.
Yay! The best show of them all.
Oh, we didn't want to talk about the finale of TNG.
Actually, I it's been so long since I've seen the finale. I actually don't remember it, so I didn't want to try and pull up stuff.
It's been
I'll
years
say-
since
I'll
I've
say
seen
this,
it too. But at the same time, I had that on DVD on VHS too, and watched the absolute living hell out of it.
Oh, I recorded. I used to record TNG and TOS up. When I didn't buy them, I was recording them whenever they were on Channel 50. So
Remember, kids, back in the day, we could record things.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So All Good Things was a really good. It was a really good return to form for Q. I mean, Tapestry was a great episode, but All Good Things was really where Q became menacing again. He wasn't menacing for a long time.
Yeah.
Probably not since season 1.
So speaking about Q, although I'm not a fan of Q myself. I just don't like the character.
What do you
He's
prefer,
too-
R? What do you prefer, R?
No, I actually like Pizzetta.
What about Q? What about Q from James Bond? Do you like him? Or do you
Oh
like
yeah,
him?
I've never seen James Bond.
Really?
Yes.
He hasn't.
I just had to. Yeah, those were my two things when I was in high school: Star Trek and James Bond. Those were like the two awesomest things in my life.
So what
And all my classmates thought I was old man because I was into old things. Because when I was in high school, nobody liked anything that was.
They call you old. What you really are is a man of culture.
Yep.
Yes, as he was eating his mushed peas and mushed carrots at lunch while wearing a cardigan. So what I would have actually.
They made you eat
Yeah.
mushed peas and carrots.
Yes.
Ew.
So what I actually would have done, just for like, oh wait, what? Is at the end of DS9 had the camera pan around and you see Q standing there and he's like, oh, I have a surprise for you. Clicks his fingers and you don't know what's happening. Like that's where it cuts.
I mean,
I'm getting some like Sopranos season finale vibes from that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't agree
Season
with
finale
it.
or series finale?
Series finale. Thank you.
I actually liked.
Hold
the
on,
series finale of Sopranos.
Yo, CSA, will you bigify that?
I
Thank
love
you.
the show.
I'm crying. My goodness, wait.
Liz is
Dude,
watching and cringing.
No, dude. No, I'm from Ireland, man. Not the UK. Two different places.
Eddie's from Ireland too.
I'm so sorry. Eddie, we need to form a support club, man. We need to form a support club.
I mean,
the Leo Radker support club for those people who wait.
We're not going to get into Irish politics. Trust me. I mean, Revan and I have talked about that. God knows how long. But anyways, DS9. We're going to get into DS9. We still got, because remember, we still got the two worst coming up.
My introduction to Star Trek when I was
Did you know Ensign Ro was supposed to be on Deep Space Nine?
I had heard that.
She was supposed to be where Kira is.
Yes,
but obviously that never happened. And
because she turned it down. She tried to be
character.
She was in a movie or something. She thought her movie career was going to go anywhere. It didn't.
Yeah,
kind of the same reason Terry Farrell left the show in season 7 to do another show, and that tanked.
That's not what she's saying now. She's saying that she didn't know what to do with her character. Her character felt too old for her. Like, that she had to play
I heard there was some bad behavior going on behind the scenes, which is why she left.
Well, I'm saying from what she said. Like, she was saying that and Ezra really, really pissed her off because when she came in, she was young and spunky, and she had to play, and Jadzia had to play an old man.
I mean, the thing is, she had the knowledge of an old man, but she was still...
No, she was told to act like someone who's 300 years old.
Really?
Because the Dax symbiont.
Yeah.
Like, right, no, I know that, but
it's like 500
but she didn't act that way, though.
No, but that's what she was told, to try and act like someone who's 300 years old.
That's weird.
I figure the way her character is, I figure she'd be told to, act really wise beyond her years, but still get that innocent, because, there's still some aspect of the host inside the personality. It's not just
nope. She was told
it's not just the Dax symbiont. It's also Jadzia herself.
Yeah, but she was told in her character sheet to try and act 300 years old, and that was one of her biggest problems.
Maybe it was Berman. Maybe Berman's just a toxic,
No, I'm not going to start doing that.
I disagree with that. I have all the respect in the world for Berman with what he was able to do to keep Star Trek alive for how long he did.
Deep Space Nine. Berman was more hands off with. That's why Deep Space Nine is considered the best of the series, because they took a lot of risks. He was more focused on Voyager, hence why Voyager had a lot of its problems especially with verisimilitude. I mean, you're a starship that's out in the Delta Quadrant without any support whatsoever. There's no support system. They are alone. There's no out of contact. They are out there. There's no supplies whatsoever. So, I mean, the episode Equinox was another instance of where the series should have went. I mean, it would have been darker, but
but back to DS9. One of the best things I love about Avery Brooks is he was in an interview on YouTube, and he said, "I'm not a black actor. I'm not a black captain. He said, if I get up in the morning," and I think Hollywood and a lot of people should think about this, is when I wake up in the morning, he said, I'm not a black man putting on his underpants. I'm not putting on my black shoes. I'm not putting on my black jacket, my black glasses. He said, I'm just a man putting on his pants, glasses, getting his keys. Off I go. He said, because if I keep thinking I'm black, he said, I'm going to be mad all the time for reasons that don't exist.
I have I can say something. Every time I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror. What I say to myself? Like, that's a fucking American right there.
Every time I wake up in the morning, I'm like, fuck!
He just says fuck. That's all he says. I mean...
Another day.
Yeah, DS9 gave us some pretty interesting
Actually, Nerdporeal sometimes is like, fuck, it's the same day. My sleep cycle is fucked. Oh, will you show the meme I sent you? And this is true.
Okay, well, let me get a little bit into the DS9 stuff coming, because I'm trying to, I'm trying to give an explanation.
Let's let our host talk.
I don't mind letting the guests talk, but I want to show off this because again, anyone who watches this might not have never seen DS9, so giving him a quick overview can help. DS9 takes place on Deep Space Nine, which is a Cardassian space station called Terek Nor. And what made this space station unique is that it was moved a small distance to this wormhole, which went to the Gamma Quadrant, which was like, how many light years was it away or something like that?
It's probably good. It's probably good 70,000.
Yeah, so it's like where
it's the same. It's the same with Voyager, same distance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, except you go through the wormhole in a matter of like 10 seconds, you're in 70,000 light years away in a whole new part of the galaxy.
And it's the only stable wormhole that they've ever encountered. So
yeah, because all the other ones were like...
Even the TNG Barzan wormhole, the cat people that have to breathe,
which Voyager destabilized on both ends.
Yes, they did.
Yes,
they did. Those two Ferengi.
Yeah. And then that
episode was what started the whole quadrant system in the first place. Gamma, Delta... And while Beta, I think, was brought up in Star Trek 6, but that's very rarely ever.
Alpha was brought up in TNG, like this will destabilize the Alpha Quadrant.
I forget exactly when Beta Quadrant was actually
Star Trek 6. Sulu, Captain Sulu says, "We're in Beta Quadrant." Oh my!
No, I thought he said we're in. I thought he said we're in Alpha Quadrant.
Oh, in Star Trek 6? No, he says Beta Quadrant.
Oh, I thought he said Alpha. I'll have to rewatch it again.
I'm George Takei. I'm the most important character in Star Trek, even though I'm barely in it.
Yeah,
at least that's
and
how,
my
that's how
actor is a
arrogant,
fucking loser.
I think he can get.
Yeah, although again, we can hate on George Takei all we want, and
George Takei.
Whatever.
No, he doesn't deserve the respect to pronounce.
You never heard. No, you didn't listen to what I said. I said George Takei.
You know, William Shatner used to pronounce his name Takei all the time just to piss him off.
Yeah, that's how I always pronounced it. By the way,
no, after not Liam Neeson, after Leonard Nimoy passed away, they were talking to him about George Takei, and they said like, oh, so what you think? He goes, I don't know him. Like, what do you mean? He goes, I don't know him. Said everyone else would go out for a meal, go out for a steak, go to hang out at their house. You'd be in, morning George, morning, how are you? Yep, sitting there reading his lines, go in, act, coat on, his glasses, in his car, off he goes.
Who didn't know who said that?
William Shatner said that he didn't know George Takei
because he was like very antisocial. It sounds like, or
no,
and
Shatner said that he said something to Leonard Nimoy, and for the last 5 years of Leonard Nimoy's life, he didn't speak to William Shatner, and William Shatner said that he will never forgive him because he took away the last chance of him ever getting to speak to his best friend again, and he said, and he cannot forgive that.
Nor should he.
Yeah, I mean, again, George Takei could say a lot on, and I'm not going to because this isn't the right stream for it. So I'm just not going to. So
any stream's the right stream to dunk on the fucking.
I know, but remember, we still got Voyager. We still got 3 more seasons after DS9 to cover. Okay.
Hold on. All I'm gonna say is just if George Takei ever watches this, 2 wasn't enough. Moving on.
Okay. Anyways, DS9 gave us some interesting stuff. It gave us Ben motherfucking Pimpan Cisco, and any of you who've seen that video know exactly what I'm talking about.
Pale Moonlight.
Yeah. And then he helped create this beautiful ship, the first ever true pure warship, according to canon.
A little surprise for the Dominion.
Yeah. Tough little ship.
Him saying that in the beginning of season 3 was epic. Like I giggled when I saw that.
I actually have a genuine 1996 Playmates, one of those. It's in the man cave. I'm not going to get it, but I have a genuine 1996 one of those.
This ship to me is one of my top 3 favorites because it bucks all standard Federation design.
It's a beautiful looking ship.
It is a tough little ship too.
A tough little ship too. Yes. What was okay? I got a question. Maybe you guys know this because I forget. Unfortunately, a spoiler alert: the Defiant gets destroyed.
Yeah.
So what was the name of the ship after that? I keep forgetting.
It was the San Paulo, but they renamed it the Defiant.
They just called it the Defiant. I mean, basically, it looked. I think it looked exactly like the Defiant too. They just
no, it was. It was another Defiant class.
Okay. Oh, so okay.
My only regret with that, or not, I don't know about regret because I didn't do anything, but my only wish on that was what I wish they did differently is introduce the Sao Paulo earlier than the penultimate episode of the series.
Yeah, because
well, what they should have actually done,
because you don't feel the absence of the Defiant. You don't feel the weight.
No, but what they should have actually done,
and that's kind of important when it comes to storytelling. I mean, it feels cheap. It feels like it never happened. I mean, that's a pivotal moment in the series. The ship getting destroyed, and this is how I actually feel this way about the Enterprise A just kind of showing up at the end of 4. I think the Enterprise A should look different. It shouldn't have looked exactly like the refit Enterprise, in my opinion, because it kind of takes away from that scene in Star Trek 3. When when the ship blows up,
the exact
and
same
they're like,
class.
and they're like, I mean, that's 20, that's like 30 years of history, gone.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, and
that's a very pivotal moment. So, but that's just my opinion. I'm just
I
dude.
I agree with you. Like, and I've said this many times. It's in Star Trek, you have the hero ship, which you could say it's an inanimate object. It's a starship. It's a character. It's actually
a character. Yes,
it is. And that's
it's a she, by the way.
It's a she. Okay, whatever. I'm the ship. I'm going.
So,
the only thing I'm going to say about the JJ movies is this: they treat the Enterprise like it's just any other ship. They don't give it any level of respect that
because
the Enterprise
JJ doesn't care.
No.
What do you mean? I'd like to hear. What do you like to hear?
So we got in the first 09 movie, the Enterprise did nothing special. Okay, it got hit by Nero's ship. They had to back off. It comes back, fires some phasers to take out some missiles. Nothing. Okay, the ship was kind of almost irrelevant to a degree.
Well, you know how they operated the ship too, just to create drama. Of course, they get they warp out. They go out of warp like in the middle of the debris field, in the middle of the battle. I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah,
the classic Trek characters would have never been stupid like that.
I mean, you would have been able to depict that.
This is JJ, Alex Kurtzman, and Roberto Orci. Mainly Roberto Orci and Kurtzman, because they were the ones that wrote the movie. Yeah,
and then you get into Darkness, the Enterprise gets just. I'm not going to use the exact wording I want to use, but we'll just say
it's not the flagship. It's not the best ship. There's this other ship called the what's it called?
The Vengeance, because it was a Section 31 ship. That's why.
Yeah, because Section 31 clearly has ships. Apparently, they have their own uniforms. They're not a secret organization like Deep Space Nine, said they were. They were just. Section 31 is just a section of the Charter, the Federation Charter.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yep. And that's all it is. Only probably the top people have any idea, and they don't act. And very few people know about that organization.
Yeah, and the last 2 points I'm making this because I don't want to go on the JJ stuff. We might do another stream on all the Star Trek movies and talk about.
But Vengeance. But going back to just quickly, the Vengeance was a much larger ship, and it was commanded by a RoboCop again.
And that's the problem I have with that is the Enterprise just basically gets bitch slapped to the highest degree, and go back to Star Trek 2. The Enterprise was nearly destroyed, but they were able to find a way to get out of that situation, make enough repairs, and Spock even states, we cannot outrun them. They are faster than us. They can still outgun us.
They outwitted them. They tricked them in Star Trek 2. They tricked them into thinking they were in much, that they were more damaged than Khan expected. So that's the reason why Kirk screams Khan, in that scene, because Khan's like, I'm going to leave you behind. I'm going to leave you to die on this planetoid.
Yeah,
but then, sorry, go ahead.
And then once you get and I was just going to say, I'm not trying to talk over you, but the Mutaran Nebula, you see how Kirk's like, we can outthink him and play like 3D chess basically against him. Yeah, so he outthinks Khan.
Yeah, because Khan does not have any experience. I mean, it's like they said, it's 2-dimensional thinking. So they literally like went under the Reliant and then came back behind them, and then they were able to defeat them.
Right. Yeah. Now and that's the thing I have is that.
So it's basically intelligence versus experience.
Well, and that's the thing.
Kirk's experience won the battle, and it's a very believable thing.
Yeah, but in the JJ universe,
blood did not save him in the end. By the way,
Revan, you were going to say something?
Oh, finally. So in the JJ universe, Kirk's experience is none to him in the TOS because Kirk keeps getting fast tracked. He does not have the proper experience to pull off like, say, vent this, make the ship list to one side, give the indication that we're fucked.
Well, they made him captain like right away.
Yeah,
2009. Like you have to work for that. That's not something that you can just be right after the academy. And that's something that the critical drinker has brought up too. And I totally agree with that. That I mean, Kirk served on other ships. He was a lieutenant. He was a lieutenant commander before he ever served on the Enterprise, or before he even became captain of the Enterprise. So.
Right. Yeah. Give me one quick second, y'all. So we're on DS9. Just give me one quick second. I just gotta deal with something.
So what's going on with you? How you doing?
And what happened? Where
we lost Potato, and Common Sense has to do something. So it's just the two of us. Sorry,
I know. No, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. No. So DS9. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Anyways. Sorry. I'm not trying to be a bad host. I swear, I'm not trying to be a bad host.
No, you're doing great. I'm really enjoying this. This is a lot of fun. I'm loving it.
I try and make it fun. It's hard sometimes.
It doesn't feel like an hour and 12 minutes. Like that.
And we haven't even gotten to the real juicy stuff yet. Yeah. But aside from the Defiant, the next big thing we got was the Dominion.
Hell yeah.
And they were I want to say a bigger threat than the Borg in a way, because the Borg would show up and whatnot, but the Dominion were such an ever-pressing threat that they seemed much more of a believable threat than the Borg ever did, because they were an actual military force,
Well, yeah, they had their own government, they had their own, hierarchy and stuff, The Vorta were basically the administrators. The Jem'Hadar were basically the brutes, the dogs, as you would say, the soldiers. And of course, the founders, no one ever knew who the founders were. They were gods. They were the gods to these two. But what stinks is there were other people in the Dominion, but I guess they were just like, subjects, I guess. They weren't really part of the power structure.
More like the
there's basically
the people who help with the economy.
Yeah, there's that one before we actually meet the Dominion at the end of season 2. There's an episode, I think it's called Rules of Acquisition, where Quark goes to the Gamma Quadrant to do business. He's trying to find the Dominion so he can do business with them. I think something berry wine or something that he wanted to sell.
Tula berry wine.
Yeah, there
doing it on behalf of the Grand Nagus, who is essentially using that as a ploy to find out more about the Dominion.
Yeah,
and that's the first time we hear about the Dominion.
Speaking of Ferengi, I really like the Ferengi episodes. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh God, yes, most of them are amazing.
I love the magnificent Ferengi, where there was it was a combination of Weekend at Bernie's, with that one Vorta, and then the other Vorta was freaking Iggy Pop, and Iggy Pop was in a lot of pain. He was like in a cast, like in a body cast, because he fell off. He tried to do a body surfing thing off the stage, and nobody caught him, so he fell on the floor. This was like right before this, right before the filming. So the fact that he scowls all the time, he was in a lot of freaking pain. So I heard that, I was like, wow, this guy's a champ.
Yeah, well, and something that made the Dominion even more intimidating. And again, this is where I'm not trying to say the Dominion are worse than the Borg or the Borg. I'm trying to just draw kind of a distinction level threat between the two. Is
they were really well developed, and
they were very well developed. But the thing about the Borg weren't. But then again, there's only so much you can do with the Borg anyway. They started off basically invincible, and then they got less and less invincible with every passing episode that had the Borg in it. Exactly, and every time they tried to bring something into the Borg, like, well, that's Voyager stuff that we'll get into. Deep Space Nine with the Dominion, like, the more we learn about the Dominion, the more of a threat that they are. I mean, the big thing that Odo's people, the founders, they are the Dominion was a big freaking twist. You know, no one expected, you know, Odo's people, who were unknown at the time, to be the head of this major, you know, threat. But they needed to have an enemy. I mean, they're off into an unknown part of space, you know, the Gamma Quadrant, and there's going to be an enemy there. There's going to bound to be an enemy coming sooner or later. So,
yep.
Yeah, and well, and that's the thing, is that because there's times in DS9 when you see the Jem'Hadar and you see them just charging into battle, like in that one episode with when they're at like that Dominion outpost, and it's like a communications, and they're trying to hack into it, and the soldiers that had been there were slowly being killed, and there were those like invisible mines that they couldn't.
That's the one with what's his name from Babylon 5. I'm trying to think his name. He was also in he was Will in Lost in Space. Bill Mumy. Bill Mumy was in that episode.
Yes,
he plays Lanier, the lens. Yeah,
Lanier. Yeah, wait. He was in Lost in Space.
Yeah, he was the boy. He was Will Robinson. You know, you ever hear Danger, Will Robinson? Well, he was.
Are you talking about the original TV show?
Yeah, from the 60s.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Not the fucking abominable new one.
Oh, no. I was talking about the Lost in Space movie, one that came out in the late 90s.
Yeah, the one with Joey from Friends.
Yeah, Matt LeBlanc. Yeah,
Matt LeBlanc. Yeah.
I enjoyed that movie. That was my first ever experience to Lost in Space. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, mine too. I was in high school, I think, when that came out, and my dad
took me to
see. He's like, "Oh, this was the show that was on when I was a kid." There was a lot of that in the early 2000s. Like, my dad's like, "Oh, these were based on shows I saw as a kid," because he had Wild Wild West also came out.
Yeah, I've seen that.
The Avengers, the British Avengers, not the the Marvel.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the British Avengers, but yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's another spy. It's a spy series, trying to bank off of. Or it came out like shortly before Bond came out, so it was like around that time. All those espionage shows in the 60s,
right?
Which I do really like. I really loved Mission Impossible, which was a sister show to the original Star Trek series that was done at Desilu. But let's go back to Deep Space Nine before we go off on another tangent.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. Yeah, so the thing about the Dominion I always loved is that they got enough character development, especially when in regards to the Jem'Hadar, to where they actually were more of a threat, because you saw the Jem'Hadars basically willing to just throw themselves into enemy fire and not give two shits, but they did it with such ferocity. It was like a blitzkrieg almost of a psychological warfare. The fact that these guys basically had advanced technologies. I mean, we know their weapons were Polaron based weapons. Even their rifles, I think, were Polaron. They had personal cloaking fields. I mean, the only weakness that they ever knew is that they had to give them a steady supply of Ketracel White.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, obviously you could kill them with a phaser, but like if you're trying to figure out a strategy, it's Ketracel White, but the Dominion supply that. And then as we see in one of the Star Trek movies, there were other races that were working behind the scenes to supply Ketracel White.
Yeah, the Sona. I think it was the
The
Sona
the
from
Sona,
Star Trek
which
Insurrection.
I'm
So,
not even. Yeah, that might be a whole nother stream there.
I'll be honest. I was a kid. I liked Star Trek Insurrection. It was a fun little movie. I think it was funny at
I
points.
still
But
like
I personally think because it was taking place during the Dominion War, they should have. I mean, I would have been. I wanted to see like the Dominion War from the point of view of the Enterprise crew and done as a feature film. I think that would have been freaking amazing.
Oh, I think it would
Yeah.
have too. Well, wait. I thought Insurrection happened post Dominion War.
No, it
No,
happened. It takes place during
happened during
season
the second
7.
year.
So that was the
Yeah.
98. 99 was the final season of Deep Space Nine. So
Okay, because I'm thinking because if that's during that and the Sona, it even says in their database, Starfleet database, that they've been known to produce mass quantities of Ketracel White. I'm thinking in my head, why the hell is this admiral going to work with the Sona, who are producing Ketracel White for our enemies?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
it just again, Insurrection to me.
It was an Easter egg, for the Deep Space Nine fans, I guess.
I know. It's just
And they
Insurrection to
asked,
me.
why would we be involved with these people?
Yeah. But anyways, again,
obviously the big, the turning point, the big turning point that ultimately leads to the war was when the Cardassian Union joins the Dominion in season 5, and that same two-parter where Worf and Garrick and I don't know who else. It was Worf and Garrick and someone else. And they find General Martok. The actual General Martok was found in that penal or that prison. That
where
prisoner
Worf was like
colony.
having to constantly fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're trying to break him down or something, I think.
Um,
And that one
the leader
first
of the leader of the Jem'Hadar had actually like developed enough of respect for him. He's like, I cannot kill this Klingon. No, I cannot defeat this Klingon.
And
All
then,
I can do is kill him, and that
then the
no
Vorta
longer
was like,
interests me.
the Vorta does a colonel, like a major toe, and he's like, shoot them both. And then you know what I mean?
And then
Yeah.
that's when Worf beams away.
Yeah, well,
yeah, because they were they accessed like the remote transport system to the runabout. I think is what it was. It's been a while since I've seen that episode.
Also the Garrick. There was also the episode where we learned quite a bit about Garrick and Inabran. They find Inabran. That was the reason. The reason why they went there in the first place was because they found Inabran Tain. He was because in the two-parter in Probable Cause into the Die Is Cast, where the Tal Shiar and the Obsidian Order try to go in with. They try to go in with the cloaked fleet and try to destroy the Founder's planet, but then find out that it was actually a trap set by them. It was actually a trap set by the Dominion. The fact that the Dominion was able to outwit the Obsidian Order of all things should tell you how big of a threat that they were.
Or even that. I mean, you could say even the Tal Shiar.
The Obsidian Order is basically 1984, the first party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were able to basically pull a fast one on both the Obsidian and the Tal Shiar. Both these are both like known for spy networks and
you know why they did that? Because they had they had the changelings going around pulling a body snatchers type of situation where they're replacing people, and that ended up becoming the big plot point. That was the big twist at the end of season 3 with that one ambassador guy that they have to hunt throughout the Defiant. And then season 4 was all about them. The Klingons are in a state of paranoia. So the Klingons start, they go to war with the Klingons for a little bit, and then you find out General Martok is a changeling, and that was the beginning of
season 5.
Yeah,
and that's when that's when the hostilities between the Klingons kind of ended, when they got rid of the fake General Martok.
More or less, although there's still some residuals.
Because they try to give Odo false information saying Gowron was the changeling in that episode.
Yeah.
That was it was the Broken Link episode.
No, I'm talking about the episode in season 5 where Jake and Bashir are on that Federation colony that's being overrun by Klingons.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, I know that was a great episode. That was probably
it was.
it might be the second best Jake Sisko episode, and Jake Sisko was only in
Yeah.
I think he was only in 45 episodes of the 173. I think he was barely in the
He's
show.
been in more than that.
Okay, maybe a little bit more, but he wasn't in much.
I'd have to look at the IMDb because it actually has a how many episode breakdown for the entire series. I'd have to look and see what it says, but yeah, I mean there's so many great things, and then once
here right now.
Oh, okay. I mean,
it's called "Nor the Battle to." That episode is called "Nor the Battle to the Strong." I forget what that quote is from. These are all the ships are called. All the episodes have quotes and stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about DS9. It really gave us some interesting aspects, the character development, and then what Starfleet would actually look like in a war, because we never saw any other wars ever again in Star Trek. Like, and I'm not just talking about a few battles.
I think Enterprise would have led to the Romulan War.
Oh no, it was going
at the
to
end of season 5.
Which
at the end of season 5 it would have led into the war, and then season 6 would have been the whole war, and then season 7. I assume season 7 would have been the final season, and then they would have done a time skip.
Like I said before stream, I think Enterprise had the potential to go beyond 7 seasons, and they could have just gone from the when Enterprise was launched in 2151 up to the founding of the Federation in 2161 with no time skips.
Yeah,
that'd be very interesting.
It would be, and you know, if
Moonves wasn't a fucking cockbiting shit stain.
I was just gonna call the asswipe who used to run CBS because I don't even want to acknowledge his name. I mean, he screwed over Enterprise, a show that all three of us here have him.
That jerk, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Season 1 of Enterprise was rough. Season 2, okay, it's starting to get better. Season 3, everyone's like,
Enterprise.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Overhated.
Oh no. I never hate on a first season. I'm just saying the first season is always the roughest one, usually, because they're kind of still getting the feel for the show in a way. So it tends to be the roughest usually than all the other at once. You know, you're polishing each episode's a little more polished typically as you go deeper into the seasons.
Yeah.
And season 3, I think, is when it really hit its stride with the whole
I
Zindi.
agree.
And then 4, the only downside to 4, I will say, there were too many arcs. You had what's his name? The Khan's father. I'm going blank on his name.
Eric Soong.
Eric Soong. Yeah.
It was basically Data's ancestor was yeah. So he
had,
but
other
remnant or not remnants.
The genetic soldiers, basically.
Yes.
The genetic humans. Yeah. So you had that arc. You had several arcs, which I wasn't the biggest fan of in season 4 because to me it felt like it chopped up the season a little bit. You know,
yeah,
it's one arc here, one arc here.
Season 4 was very. I mean, it was taken over by Manny Koto, but
right.
I'll be honest. Season 4 is probably one of my favorite Star Trek seasons. I mean, it's really trying to connect. It really tried to connect with the original series. I think it did a very good job.
Right? Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't good. I said that's the only. If I had to only say one downside to 4, it would be that they're constant arcs within a single season. To me, it just kind of chopped it up a little bit. But
I actually like that. I actually like that. I actually like the way the way they did that and stuff. So that's just me, though.
Yeah, no. Hey, everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
3-parters. There's nothing but a bunch of 3-parters. I love the Vulcan. The Vulcan 3-parter was really good. Where they're on. Vulcan.
That was beautiful.
The Vulcan one was good. The
one the one with the genetic Superman.
That was
another
3.
One. That's probably the best one. I like the 2-parter where I forget the name of the episode with RoboCop that they're on Mars, I believe, and they're dealing with xenophobes and stuff.
Oh yeah. And then there was the other 2-parter with the Klingons where they
So it also involved Eric Soong's character, but he wasn't in the episode.
Right.
But it had something to do with the genetics, the genetic Superman. That because the Klingons tried to create their own, and instead you get the human-looking Klingons from the original series.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of arcs that tie into the original series, and I'd even say going into TNG even, because then you get Soong's ancestor.
And I'm happy that they tried to be as faithful to the episode Balance of Terror, where it's revealed in the original series that they never seen the Romulans face to face prior to that episode, and I'm glad that they kept that.
Yeah,
they kept faithful to that.
Okay,
right. Yeah,
I got it. Jake Sisko was in 71 episodes.
Okay,
71.
Okay, so
wow.
a little bit more. So he was in like 45% of the episodes, roughly.
Yeah, that's a fair number, I'd say. It's a fair number. But we're going to jump on to the next one, Star Trek Voyager. All right. Now, this one, you're going to start hearing a bit of shit throwing on my end. Okay. Voyager, I had so many hits and misses, and Janeway is one of my least liked captains.
Yeah, a lot of people think Jane. I mean, are we going to go into the episode Tuvix?
Tuvix. Well, there's many episodes. I mean, I have the episode that the only 2-episode arc that I absolutely love is this one with this ship, the Equinox.
You don't like Year of Hell?
Year of Hell was good, but what I liked about this one is that it showed Janeway at her biggest hypocrisy, where she's constantly quoting all this Starfleet stuff, and it's like, how many fucking times have you broken this shit?
And let's just say there was a lot of tension in that episode between her and Chakotay, because the fact that she was just like going completely overboard. Like she was obsessed with getting Captain Ransom and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, she
is like, oh, this guy should not. It's like it's like he's a fellow starship captain. There's very few starship captains, very few people that can make all those types of decisions. It's one of the hardest jobs in the galaxy, in the galaxy, and she just sees the weight of what he did to survive, and she just freaking hates him. She's like willing to do whatever it takes to go after him, and
I mean,
get him. I remember that. It was crazy. I rewatched it. I was like, holy crap, I forgot about this. Yeah. Chakotay is telling her to, chill the hell out.
Yeah, Chakotay is the voice of reason. And something that, because I've watched Dave Cullen and Lore Reloaded's take on the 2-parter.
Yes.
I don't agree with Lore Reloaded on a lot. He did bring up some interesting points on it, but Dave Cullen I agreed with far more, where you have Rancic. Okay.
Ransom.
Sorry, I thought it was Rancid for some reason. Ransom, he is put into an impossible situation. He's in this ship, okay, the Equinox, which, just to tell you, okay, right here, a crew of 70, what does that say? 78. That is less
as a science vessel. So
as a short-range science vessel. And by the way, for everyone listening, that's less than the NX-01 had at its crew complement. That's less. No, it's like the USS. It's like the USS
Grissom from Star Trek 3. Remember that ship, that science vessel? Yep. Remember how easily that ship got destroyed by one single photon torpedo from Christopher Lloyd's ship?
Yeah,
Commander Krug's ship.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That's how weak these things are. These are not,
Well, that's the whole point. They're short-range science vessels that are meant to stay within Federation space, so they are armed, but they're not heavily armed. And it survives for almost as much time as Janeway's crew does.
Longer. They were there. I think they came there. They were there prior to Voyager.
I thought he said they were in the same. They might have been there longer. I'd have to.
No, they were there longer.
Year previous,
because the Voyager was the last crew that the caretaker pulls, and before they destroy the array and stuff.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing about this episode is that. To me, it really shows the biggest hypocrisy within Janeway, because Rancic, everyone could reason with Rancic. Okay, the captain of the Equinox. Dear Lord, the captain of the Equinox. Everyone could relate to his situation and be like, "Yeah, you know what? Yeah. If I had to kind of take some possibly fucked up way of getting back home." That might not be ethical, but it's the only way for me and my crew to survive, and I'm responsible for their lives. I'm going to do it. I might have to answer before a tribunal, but do you know what? At least my crew is home safe.
Yeah.
At least what crew is left is safe.
Like he said, they ran out of supplies really quickly. They were starving.
They were
desperate. They were desperate.
What'd he say? They had run out of dilithium. They hadn't
He's like,
eaten in-
you don't have to worry about, keeping your crew fed and staying alive, So
Yeah,
I
it was
mean,
like
basically everything that he said to her, and then of course it went on, deaf ears. Like it's never. She's like says it's never easy, but we have a duty to perform, or we have a duty as Starfleet captains. And I'm just like, it's hard to be. I mean, I like Janeway, but that's one of those cases where even when I first saw it when I was in high school when I saw that episode when I started high school, and I could not get behind it either. I was just like, okay, this is kind of hypocritical.
Yeah, and that's why I said Equinox to me is my favorite, because you see Janeway constantly contradicting herself throughout the show. Like one minute she's breaking Starfleet regs, next minute she's quoting them. Next minute she's doing this, next minute she's doing that. So Voyager was not a perfect show. I think it had a lot of potential, but in some areas I felt like it felt very flat. Like it was a show that never lived up to what it truly could have become.
Yeah, I actually agree. I mean, I think it could have. I mean, especially this series, probably even more so than Deep Space Nine, it should have been more serialized. Maybe not as serialized. I mean, there still should have been, episode by the stories, episode by episode. But there should have been an overarching thing. Like that final season should have had an overarching thing where they were trying to search for something that would have, gotten them home, something they heard about, and they would have continually talked about it. It would have been like the thread that connected the whole season together, instead of them depending on time travel and the Borg to get home, which was at the last minute.
It was a cop out.
So I have a question for you. What did you think of? Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Let's go back to Caretaker. What did you think of Janeway's decision to blow up the array and keep it from the Kazon instead, and going forward with the wishes of the Caretaker instead of using it to get themselves back home? Because I've heard both sides of the argument.
Okay, so
because like you can only imagine being a member of that crew, and the captain makes that type of decision, stranding you in the making the decision to strand you in the Delta Quadrant for the sake of virtue or something.
Right. Yeah, I think the way I look at it, my first duty is to keep my crew safe. Because if going with that knowledge of it's estimated at least 70,000 light years, meaning that's a multi-generational trip.
Yeah.
Your crew should be their first thing, that you are responsible for them. Now, if you can help any other populace of any planet, great. But if your crew's dead, you ain't helping nobody.
Because they had a chance to leave. Like they could have used the array.
I mean,
maybe. They could potentially.
I mean,
there's still the issue of the Kazon, who are overpowering the Voyager crew, or the Voyager ship and the Maquis ship, which had to literally kamikaze itself to do any kind of damage to one of the ships. And as the Caretaker was dying, more Kazon ships were coming in to assist the ones that were already fighting Voyager. So they were fighting a losing battle. There's no guarantee that they would have actually survived long enough to use the Caretaker's array to get home. Because Tuvok did say that it would take several hours to operate the thing without the Caretaker, who had just died.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the way
there was really nothing else they could have done.
Okay. That's an interesting point.
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at it is, okay, it's kind of one of those things where the show is based around them destroying the Caretaker array. If they had used the Caretaker array and they were able to go back, there's no TV show. I mean, it's not to sound like I'm trying to avoid anything, but it's like at the end of the day, if you use the Caretaker array, there's no TV show, so therefore you have a mini series basically.
Honestly, I have an idea.
Yeah, but
honestly, instead of using the Borg for the finale, because remember they said at the end of Caretaker, there was supposed to be a mate and stuff to the Caretaker, and that's what they were
found
looking
her
for
in season 2.
Yeah, I know, and I didn't like that episode. I thought it was a horrible episode.
I didn't either.
I feel they should have encountered that. Should have been the finale. Them finding the Caretaker. Guess what? It came back because it's the Ocampans and the Caretaker have like a special, or the Caretaker race. I forget the name of the race. Doesn't matter. they're Sporocystian, so who cares? But I think it should, instead of having the Borg and some, instead of having the Borg and time travel as a finale, they should have encountered the mate, maybe perhaps a second time or something, because the mate left. We didn't see the mate again after that season 2 episode. I think we should have encountered them once more. I think we should have encountered them once more, and the finale should have been written around that. And Kes would, instead of Kes coming back in that episode Fury, Kes should have came back in the finale, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and not the way like she became a villain in that Fury episode. I mean, I thought it was cool at first, but then I rewatched. I'm like, this is not a good episode because once again, it involves time travel. So
yeah, that's the problem with Voyager. I feel like they took shortcuts in the TV show that, like, okay, the Borg. Okay, we found a Borg transwarp hub. It's like, okay, we're fighting Borg cubes.
Brandon Bragg couldn't think of any other ideas other than using time travel.
Well, but even their originality, it's like, okay, we're fighting a Borg cube. Okay, all right. Now we're fighting a Borg tactical cube. Okay. Now we're fighting a Borg diamond. Okay. Now we're fighting a Borg transwarp hub that has hundreds of Borg cubes. Really? Can we not just stick with the original Borg and maybe have them be a little bit more menacing than having to keep finding new ways?
I totally agree. I mean, like the Enterprise is the flagship. The Galaxy class Enterprise is the flagship.
Right.
And they were completely outclassed.
They were.
What makes you think Voyager, which is a lesser ship than the Enterprise, is going to take on a Borg cube?
I mean,
or
even a Borg sphere. Advancements that were not 10 years, but like 8 or so years of technological advancements that Starfleet made solely for the purpose of fighting the Borg.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's why I feel like when you introduce species 8472 into Voyager,
that was another wasted opportunity. Sorry.
Well, that's what I'm getting ready to say is that because you dumbed down the Borg, that when species 8472 was just slaughtering their ships in mass, you don't really feel the weight of it. Like if the Borg were something that Voyager was barely escaping by the skin of their teeth, we're talking hull breaches all over the ship.
Yeah.
10 dead crewmen here, 5 dead here each time. There's more weight, but it's like, oh, we survived another skirmish with the Borg. Oh, we did this time. It's like, their species 8472 destroying them doesn't have the weight that it did when in First Contact. Like that was a big fucking ordeal to see a Borg cube get destroyed in First Contact.
I feel the Borg cube got destroyed too easily.
But
that's just me.
Have you heard the theory about why it got destroyed so easily?
Well, then, somehow Picard was able to know because of his Borg.
No.
Like where to hit them, where to hit the Borg in particular. And then he ordered the fleet to fire at that same.
Well, that's what happens in the movie. I'm talking another theory. Oh! I can tell by the signs. You haven't heard this one yet. So the theory is the Queen, knowing that Locutus Picard still had some of the nanites, falsely fed him information as to where to shoot the nanoprobes. False fed him information because if he had actually found a genuine spot, there's no way the sphere would have been able to leave. But if she false fed him information to prep the sphere to leave, the sphere leaves as it goes away. So the rumor is that she false fed him information because that's why Data says, sir, the coordinates you have indicated do not appear to be a vital system because the Borg Queen was feeding him information that made it seem like that's a critical juncture. That's a theory. No, obviously this can't be proven, but people have analyzed it.
I've never heard this theory.
I saw that on a Star Trek board on Facebook about 2.5 years ago. And it's stuck with me ever since because obviously you can't prove it true. You can't prove it not true.
Yeah.
So, so we got to, okay, now we're in the juicy part. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah. So
Trek Disgracery.
Yeah. So for everyone watching, Star Trek Discovery is the first TV to come out since Enterprise. Over 15 years later, something like that.
It came out in 2017, so
2017,
about 12
so
years
about-
after Enterprise.
Yeah. So 12 years after Enterprise, this is the next one we get.
And it's not Star Trek.
It's not Star Trek. It's supposedly set before the original series.
It's 10 years before the original series.
Right. Okay.
So this is like 3 years, I believe, after The Cage, which is the original pilot.
Yes. Yeah, because
Cage
Pike
takes-
is.
Yeah, The Cage takes place in 2253, I believe, or 2254.
Right.
One of those 2 years.
So this is the hero
ugly,
ship.
Look how ugly that ship is.
This is the USS Discovery Crossfield class.
Crossfield.
Now,
Absolutely disgustingly hideous.
for our viewers, the reason why this ship supposedly looks the way it does, this is the explanation, okay, given. This explanation given is that
Consistent.
yeah, I know it is. So for all our viewers, I'm just going to show you this right now, okay? What do you think this looks like to all our viewers, okay? Just kind of mull over the picture for a second. What do you think it looks like, okay? Looks like it might be going through like a lightning storm, right? No.
Mushrooms.
It's literally going to jump from one point in space to another, like teleportation, on a literal field of mushrooms. I shit you not.
The mycelial network.
Mm-hmm. So...
Which absolutely does not work for a multitude of reasons.
I still love all the Star Trek boards. Wait. So let me get this straight. The ship literally uses an FTL that is entirely comprised of mushrooms. Yes. Were you on mushrooms when you thought of this idea? No. You need to be on mushrooms to forget this idea. I mean...
Needless to say, the writers for the new iteration of fake Star Trek are absolute retards.
They really are. And by the way, this is the Discovery when it's in the 32nd, 33rd century. I can't
detach nacelles because that works somehow.
I did not watch that season. I did not watch season 3.
It's okay.
I
So
watched maybe a couple of scenes.
Okay,
I'm gonna not watch a single episode.
I'm gonna put up one GIF. Okay, they get into the 23rd was it 32nd, 33rd century, by like past where Daniels is. So we're like several centuries past where Daniels is in Enterprise.
32nd century.
Yeah, let's define the future. Yeah, let's just define the future.
So this is what happens once they finally find Star Trek. Starfleet. They haven't found Star Trek yet because they're still looking for it. The first 6 episodes.
And its bag of fucking monkeys are retarded.
I know, but I got one GIF that will sum up the first 5 episodes of this entire 3rd season.
Hey, it's Knuckles.
God fucking damn it. Good thing Favre is not here.
I know, right? I've been trying to find a clip of that, that's a few seconds long, but I can't. I'm gonna have to manually make one, which is gonna be a bitch. But basically, so Star Trek Discovery, and later, as we're gonna get to here shortly, Star Trek Picard was written, is all headed by Alex Kurtzman, who, when he thought of Trek, decided to do this. This is what he decided to do. Okay?
Is that from Gundam Seed?
No, that's from Gundam Origin, I think.
Oh, okay. I actually like Gundam Origin. That's pretty good.
Good. There's many Gundam. The only Gundam series I actually do not like is Iron Blood Orphans.
Okay, I have not watched that one. I've seen all the other shows though.
Yeah, I've watched as many as I can actually find.
My favorite is Zeta Gundam, and Favre hates Zeta Gundam.
I've never seen it.
He hates Camille.
He hates Camille. I don't have
Yeah,
access
I've
to
heard
see
that,
it, so I
I've
can't
heard that
watch it.
Camille is a terrible character.
He starts
Yeah.
off as a brat, but he gets better throughout the show. Like he becomes he matures quite a bit, and then what happens to him at the end of the show is kind of tragic.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
all
so
right.
And
I
then
don't
the
I don't
second
hate the
series comes out and he's still alive.
and plus I think Zeta's the best of the, I think Zeta's the best Gundam series.
I haven't seen
My
it because I don't
opinion.
have access to it, so I don't have an honest opinion on it. But
Of course.
so Discovery basically screwed over Trek in many ways. And we actually got to see
In
a
every
Klingon raping somebody. We got to see nude Klingon, and
So-
yes,
So yeah, they're trying to replicate Game of Thrones.
basically, yeah.
And I mean, here's the thing: Star Trek is for everyone. Star Trek is family friendly. It's not just for adults. Despite popular belief, it's not like The Expanse. Now, The Expanse can get away with it because The Expanse is based off of books as the source material, and they swear it's
Plus,
more
it's
for
still
adults.
well written.
Yeah, and plus it's it's well written too. Discovery, Star Trek is family friendly.
speaking
Can you
up a
imagine?
little off topic.
Can you imagine
I
if Wrath of
am
Khan?
really-
Can you imagine if Wrath of Khan was rated R? Now there were scary moments that could have made Wrath of Khan rated R, but can you imagine like Star Trek, like the movies being rated R and stuff, and them swearing and stuff? I can't.
Yeah,
No.
I mean,
But that's not Star Trek.
Exactly.
it's not,
And I mean, I like the character Tilly until she said the F bomb.
I
was
forget
like-
the
then I
exact
was-
line, but yeah.
I've never liked
This is
Tilly.
pretty effing cool. It is, and then
Oh, that's right,
Gambit's is like, it
yes.
is effing cool. There's a pause. There's a pause, and he's looking at her, and he's like, it is effing cool. And I'm just like,
This is not Star Trek.
This
I'm
is
like,
not
I was
Star
like,
Trek.
wow. Now, I didn't have a problem. I initially didn't have a problem with season 1. I was willing to be open minded about it. But
Yep.
I heard that, and I was like, why are they doing this?
Well, what turned me
Season one
off.
was atrocious.
Well, I was willing to. I went into it open-minded, not having a
So did
Trek,
I.
and the thing is, before we got the whole "that's fucking cool" moment, that we got literally Klingon rapage, Klingon, boobs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was the moment. I'm like, this is not Trek. No, I mean,
but that's not the worst moment in my opinion.
I got
it's
that
not, I'm not saying it's the
first
worst,
fucking
but
episode.
that was to me where I'm like, nope, this is not Star Trek. That was that moment, because I'm like, in Star Trek, like in TNG, there are times with Martina, was it Sirtis? I think it was Marina Sirtis. Okay, she's wearing clothes, and she's got a decent sized chest. Okay,
There are times when she's wearing clothes.
yes, she's wearing clothes, and it's
There you
cold
go.
on stage, and she's not wearing a bra. So
Yeah.
okay, you could piece two and two together. Okay, now is that all the time? No. Is that on purpose? No. But I can forgive that. It's not a big deal. I frankly don't care. It's just one of those funny things where you're like, is she not wearing even a pasty or something?
It doesn't hurt it that back then she was still kind of attractive.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. But in Discovery, between dropping F-bombs, seeing throats get cut, and it literally looks like something out of Game of Thrones, like the graphicness looks like something out of Game of Thrones. Klingon sex scenes.
Yes.
I mean, it's this is not Star Trek.
Did you know
It's not
parts
Star
of
Trek.
season? Did you know parts of season 1 directly ripped from Game of Thrones? Did you know that?
That's
No.
not surprising. Every fucking thing in that show
Remember the-
is ripped from
now,
somewhere else.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, but I didn't. I watched Major Grin's. He makes a lot of videos like showing the parallels between or the plagiarisms of other franchises. Well, remember the 4-part Mirror Universe episodes that they decided to throw in there? Let's just throw in all the popular stuff from the earlier shows, and let's just throw them in. So they threw in a 4-part Mirror Universe episodes, and they're in the Emperor's flagship or Empress's flagship. It has a freaking moon door. Remember the moon door from Game of Thrones? They're in that high castle on the mountain, and it opens up, and then it opens up into an abyss, and you fall, and that's how you get executed. Well, they had the exact same thing in in that episode. And then also in that episode, you have Lorca, who that's what's his name?
Jason Isaacs.
Jason Isaacs. Yeah.
So
There we go.
he's in the
Another
he's in the agony booth. He's in the agony booth, and some other officers like, I'm here for revenge for what you did to my sister and stuff. And he's like, say her name. Say her name. Does that sound familiar from another Game of Thrones featuring a mountain and a viper? Remember that? Remember that?
Yeah.
It's like, say her name. You raped her. You murdered her. You killed her children. It's the same thing. They ripped that off too.
Yeah. It was just.
And then, of course, Lorca kills the guy, overpowers him and kills him, just like the mountain overpowers and kills Oberyn Martell.
Oh, you know what? I just literally thought of one photo that I should have put in, the one where Mikey Spock is holding the phaser pointed at herself.
Oh, yeah.
I should have put that in. That would have ended in this show.
Was that what episode? Do you know what episode that was from? I don't even remember.
It was
like the 12th or 13th.
Something like that. I just remember it was in the Terran universe arc of season 1.
I actually was dumb enough to watch the first 13 episodes of that god awful, unwatchable nonsense.
Well, I tried rewatching it.
I've said that.
Trek where
I've said this multiple times, and I'm gonna keep saying it. 13 episodes was 19 episodes too many.
What was I gonna say? I actually, you guys are gonna give me crap for this, but I actually got the Blu-ray initially when it came out because I was still open-minded about the series. But I tried watching it on the Blu-ray and I was just bored out of my mind. It's like these shows, these new Trek are not really meant to be watched more than once. Because unlike the earlier shows where you can rewatch them over and over again and still really freaking enjoy them, this stuff is not enjoyable.
New things about them.
I mean, people would say, this is not enjoyable watching the first time. Well, it's not enjoyable. It's even less enjoyable watching it a second time. It's just boring.
Yeah,
and you get sick of Michael Burnham. I mean, by the time I watched season 2 as well, you get sick of her because you remember the earlier shows, well, maybe not so much TOS, but TNG, DS9, all the episodes were basically character driven. There was a different character, a different member of the cast that the A plot was focused on.
Yeah.
And then there would be a B plot that would focus on, the rest of the characters or maybe another character with, the rest of the characters kind of being in a supporting role and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
but what really broke me was season 2.
What?
The finale of season 2 of Discovery.
Oh,
when they had that massive, they had thousands of drones surrounding the ships, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
So this is a photo I found because surprisingly, finding a really good photo of the Enterprise from Discovery was actually not easy. That was not in a WebMP format. Yeah. All the JPEGs were just terrible formatted. This is the best I could get. So the enhanced original is if you kind of slightly updated the original TOS version. And the one on here on the bottom is the one we get in Discovery. Now, I will say this about the ship. It does not look bad. The Enterprise they did in Discovery, I will say they didn't do that bad of a job. Is it perfect? Oh, no.
It's too bad they can't come up with their own original, decent. It has to be ships that have already been done before that they have to look good.
Yeah.
Because in Picard, the Enterprise D looked really good too. That was but that was only in episode 1.
And that was a hologram. That was a hologram. It wasn't even an actual
dream. It was a dream.
They didn't change it at all.
That's right. Yes.
The first 3 episodes, they were actually able to license shit from real Star Trek before they just threw that out. But yeah, that's why it doesn't look different because they were able to separately license it.
Yeah, I mean, and so guys, when I say they destroy Star Trek, this is a Klingon.
That's a Klingon.
No, it's not.
That's a Klingon.
No. This is what Discovery says is a Klingon.
And Discovery is full of shit.
I agree.
Remember, that's Takuvma. And Takuvma basically says in that they say Klingon for whole scenes. You know how hard that language is on the ears? I mean, I don't mind hearing Klingon and a couple, a phrase or stuff, That's freaking awesome to say. But dude,
There-
they basically
theirs is
said
worse.
that this guy is supposed to
And they
represent.
also all talk with marbles in their mouths,
They're like, so
making it even less.
but you know what he
here.
represents? You know what the writers and
Donald
the
Trump.
producers? Yeah, he represents a guy that happens to be orange. And I'm just like,
you know what's
remain Klingon, really?
you know what I remember? All I could think of was that like he's like, okay, so his name is Takufma, okay? Here's how he says it in the show, and I'm gonna do the best impression I can. He's like, Takufma.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's like, instead of saying
Get the
Takufma,
cotton balls out of your fucking throat, man.
and even if you could play Klingons, it'd be like Takufma. You know, something like that, you know, enunciations. Theirs literally sounds like Takufma.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, come on, give it a rest.
Take 6 double bubbles, put them in your mouth, and then try and say certain Klingon names. That's literally what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, which, by the way, apparently they're cannibals too.
Oh, of course. Why?
I had to say it. I'm sorry. I had to say it. But we got one more. I know everyone who's watched us and is going to watch this. I thank you for your. I know we've been going long. We've been having so much fun. We're getting to the last season. I promise. Say what?
I said we were before getting to this garbage.
Oh no! I'm still gonna have fun ripping this one a new a-hole because this is just Star Trek Picard. Now
this is my
going
least.
back to the fucking Expanse. One of the characters I've nicknamed Discount James Holden.
Which one?
I think you can tell.
The one next to the Romulan guy, bottoms.
The guy with the beard.
The beard.
Okay.
The beard. Yeah, the captain of the Raza Arena, which is literally the stupidest ship on the face of the earth.
Looks kind of like a shuttlecraft.
Is that really what it looks like?
Yeah, this is again the images.
Christ, it was so fucking forgettable.
What's the name of the ship again? I don't even remember.
The Las Arenas or Las Arena.
Las Arenas.
No, Las Arenas.
Las Arenas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's because this guy here is supposedly like a Spaniard or something like that.
Well, he plays soccer. So
yeah, he plays soccer. But the funny thing is, this ship gets into a fight with an old
the old Romulan bird of prey.
Yeah, the old what was it called?
From Balance of Terra.
Yeah, basically they find one of those and update it, and they're patrolling this area, and there's so much I have.
And there was nothing to that. I thought it was like, what are they? Are they at war with the Romulans? What's going on with the Romulans?
Exactly.
And they didn't explain it. It was just, they're pirates. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
That's the best you can come up with.
What?
You take a very uninteresting route. Thanks a lot, Alex Kurtzman.
What's funny
Michael
about
Chabon or whoever wrote this?
Do you know? Did you catch? Okay, so I don't know if you caught this. So remember the ship with the bird of prey? It's shooting at it. It's got like one phaser, and it can't beat it. And then in the last few episodes, when let me see, the guy bottom here, the one Romulan guy who is the boy toy of his sister. Let's just call it what it is.
Merrick or something?
I forget. Yeah, we'll say Merrick just for shits and giggles. When he's standing in front of the Narek, yeah. Okay. When he's standing in front of the Las Arenas, the captain of the Las Arenas, did you pick up on what he said to him?
No.
He says, "I wonder what a photon torpedo would do to you at this range."
Oh God.
Keep in mind, on this ship, he's maybe 10 feet from this glass window here. So go 10 feet out. So he's still within these pylons. He's like in that area. He says, "I wonder what a photon torpedo would do to you at this distance." Why weren't you firing photons against the Warbird if you had them?
I thought they were quantum torpedoes at that point.
No, he says.
I guess they kind of forgot.
Well, he's not Starfleet.
Well, they still
he's a civilian.
use both.
He's civilian.
Later, they still used both in the later seasons of TNG and
even in Nemesis, which is post Dominion, they still use both.
Right.
Yeah.
Voyager.
Which, by the way, in just a quick side note on that, in Discovery season in season 3, when they're in like the 30-something century, quantums are the standard now. Quantums are the standard.
Quantum torpedoes.
Which you would think 930 years in the future, or 800 years post Nemesis, post all that, they would have come up with something
It
more powerful.
doesn't seem like much has changed. But then again, this is
warp
but then again,
drive,
this is the
dilithium.
this is the creativity of New Trek now.
Yeah,
What
but
creativity.
there's multiple things in this show that angered me. Some of them I wanted to look up scenes for, but they would just enrage me. Other I actually cannot show because they are too graphic.
The thing that really
Edward
turned me
Baby
off
had-
was
still discovered.
was them ripping Icheb's eye out and killing him.
Yeah. So
Now, how you guys feel? I mean, I actually like the character Icheb in Voyager.
I love Icheb.
I had no issue with Icheb. No issue with him whatsoever.
And I mean, I liked him and Seven of Nine, their relationship in Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, you see him, different actor, he gets his eye ripped off, and you see, and it's not a quick thing. This is like several seconds.
Was
he's
legitimately
screaming.
Fucking trash, and
Yes,
it was.
And then Seven of Nine comes in, kills everyone because that's what she does now, and then she mercy kills
because
him.
she's
Why did you have
angry,
to do that?
depressed, suicidal lesbian now.
Why did you have to kill him off like that? Why did you have to mercy kill him? She would never have done that. She was like, his mother. She was like a mother figure to him. She would have never done that.
This is not Star Trek.
No,
it's not Star Trek. And when Nerdporeal's talking about when that scene when they're ripping out his eye, we're talking. You hear everything, crushing of bone, guts, blood, and I'm not trying to get too but
the saw blade.
You hear the saw blade. You don't see it, but you hear everything. So because you hear it, you can create a good enough mental picture with what you're hearing of what is possibly happening. This is Star Trek that's doing this.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
And then we get and hang on one second. We get the chick next to going center, the one right next to the guy, she's a black chick. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I won't say what she isn't, but Raffi is Raffi. She does drugs. And you might say, how do you know she does drugs?
She lives in a trailer at Vasquez Rocks, and they literally call it's Vasquez Rocks. It's not an alien.
Which those rocks, by the way, for everyone watching, is the exact same area where this was filmed.
Oh, it was the Dominion.
Yeah, you're not being respectful and an homage when you do that, you fuckers.
Yeah, and then there's also remember the episode where they were on the mound and they had to fight off the Dominion group and stuff. This one they crashed onto the. It was the episode.
They crashed.
They take out the Ketracel White facility and then they crash onto a planet or something.
Yes, I remember that one.
Vasquez Rocks. I mean, who watches the Watchers from TNG? That was Vasquez Rocks, and there was several TOS episodes that took place. At Vasquez Rocks.
Yeah,
including everyone's favorite episode, The Alternative Factor.
Yeah,
that's the one with Lazarus and the wacky little segment of them going into the corridor, and you think you're on drugs because of what you're seeing.
Yeah, and so the reason why I say how she's on drugs because it's not because she lives in a trailer there. It's not that, but she grows plants, puts them into. Okay, so I'm gonna go on camera here for just a second just so I can show you. Okay, I have a vape. She has like a vape pen,
so it's on the way.
She takes a bud, and it's a bud, by the way, opens it up, so like mine opens up, sticks it in it, puts it back on, and starts vaping it.
Yeah.
Because that's how that works, apparently.
And then when they get to that one planet that they introduced 7 of 9 on, a literal weed plant shows up in holographic form because to each person it shows, here's what you want. Here's what you want. For her, it shows a weed plant and somebody smoking a joint.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she quickly swipes it away because she doesn't want anyone to know.
Yeah, I didn't like her character either.
I didn't like any of them.
There's nothing to like about any of those characters.
I didn't like Soji or what was her other name? Daj or something. Well, Daj.
I don't. Honestly, they're all forgettable to me. They are all forgettable.
You know what the best part of Picard was?
What?
It was Riker.
Watching one of
them. It was Riker in the captain's chair. That was the most Star Trek I got out of
I'm actually going to get
about that one scene.
I don't have that specific
copy and paste fleet of ugly.
I was actually getting ready to pull up that next pick. So
And all that was fucking nostalgia based.
So this is a planet that has a bunch of androids on it. Okay, it's reminiscent of TNG, kind of like peaceful hippie-ish kind of community. They live in harmony,
California, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Basically.
They, the Romulans want to destroy them.
It's hard.
But the Romulans want to destroy them. And by the way, these are Romulan ships. What happened to Romulan ship design over the span of, say, 40 years?
What happened to the warbirds?
Exactly. So there's the big climactic battle is this. The hippie androids launch these giant space flowers to try and stop the Romulans, which are unarmed. They're literally just flowers. They literally go, they bud open, and that's it. That's all they do.
Yeah.
The big climactic battle is the Romulans shooting their way through them. That's what it is, okay? Mm-hmm. And here's another shot of the fleet. This ship here closest is the actual command ship, so it looks differently. But all these little aviary things that look like fighters, those are the actual Romulan warbirds.
Yeah, those look like fighter.
Yeah, exactly. Fighters. Yeah. And then
what the hell were they thinking?
I don't know. They had no originality.
They were. I think
copy is like, let's take a jet plane and copy and paste it.
I'm convinced that being a writer or any kind of creative, quote unquote, role in this current iteration of Star Trek, in order to have it, one of the prerequisites is to not be able to think.
No.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm a ship guy. I love ships. I mean, I don't like
a collection of ship porn.
Where is it? Give me. Where did I put it?
I bought a little figurine of the USS Reliant when I was.
Oh, there it is.
Ooh, nice.
So I'm much more of a Star Wars guy than Star Trek, but I still love Star Trek a lot, and Star Wars ships are a lot easier to get a hold of. So I'm going to go on camera again just for 1 second. Okay. Let me take this down. Okay. So this here is all ships. Now it's like 99% Star Wars ships. Okay. However, I do have the Vengeance from Into Darkness because somebody bought it for me. And I have one or two other ships from other franchises. Okay. So I'm a huge ship guy. And actually, I got an Excelsior from Eagle Moss right over there.
Oh, cool!
It's kind of, you can't really see it back there, but I'm pointing.
Isn't that the one I sent you?
Yep, it's the one Phil sent me. So I'm a ship guy, so I love looking at ships, studying the schematics, the history, all that kind of stuff. Okay.
I bought a painting of all the different Enterprise ships. It cost me quite a bit of money, but I wanted to buy a painting from the convention. So.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, as a ship guy, this picture makes me want to just explode. It's so not original.
And not in a positive way.
Well, I don't want to explode in absolute joy.
Explode in diarrhea.
Oh. Just keep me in an IV bag. Yes, that will work. This is the final thing, okay?
Oh my gosh.
This is the fleet. The only difference between these ships is literally the nacelle colors. Some look blue, some look a little bit orange, but literally they are copy and pasting, no differentiating, no nothing, okay? You see all those little specks of light on the opposite side? That's the Romulan fleet.
Yeah, and then where was the frickin' Titan? Where was the frickin' USS Titan?
You'd think? Ship. I mean, and you could say, well, by that time it's 40 years. Okay, fair point then. So then give him a new, uniqueness is something we've always seen in Trek. Every ship, you could say Starfleet had 30 different ships. Each ship fulfilled a unique role.
Yes.
I'll be honest, like the earlier shows, each season got better. Each season got better. Not necessarily series, but each season generally gets better. Mm-hmm. It's not the case with New Trek. It it's either bad and it usually gets worse and worse and worse. There's like no bottom there's no bottom for how messed up you can get with these. And yet they're making more. I mean, there's going to be a Picard season 2. There's going to be a Discovery season 4. They are. I think they're already doing. There's already season 2 of Lower Decks is already out.
Yeah, I know. Trek Yards has been covering. What do they call it? Whatever the main ship is, they've been covering. It's like because
we
again,
got
there's
a
ship.
dislike.
Oh well. The person was here. They watched.
You got that doesn't matter. It's more engagement.
You know what?
No, I know it's just hilarious.
Whoever disliked me, I still love you. I still love you. After I hunt you down, but I still love you. But again, so this is the last 2 pictures, and we're gonna wrap it up because we're at almost 2 hours 15 minutes, which I didn't. Holy shit. So let me just put this into perspective.
Like this.
No, I sometimes depending on the topic, I do too. So you get this ship, okay? This ship, all these ships, they're powered up, ready to fire. Federation ships, okay? They're ready to shoot. Riker is just like sitting there. He's like, so, you guys gonna leave?
His ship with the Chinese name.
I wasn't gonna
say or something.
Shang-Chi something. I don't remember.
Just like the Marvel movie
Xing
coming out.
Something.
Just like the Marvel movie. Shang-Chi.
Oh God. But that's the thing, is that knowing Riker wouldn't be there to just kind of just sit there all smug like and whatnot. He would be like, okay, listen, you got 5 seconds to get out of here, okay? This is an official Starfleet protected planet. Okay? You got 5 seconds to get out of here, or we start blowing.
Or I'm going to kick your Tal Shiar ass.
Basically, something like that, but he just sits there and he's just trying to negotiate. It's like, where's the Riker maneuver?
Exactly.
Like the Riker who literally...
He's good writing. This is great writing.
I'm just okay. I gotta. Okay.
You know where all the good writers? You know where all the good writers went? They went to the Orville.
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait. I know. Production was either halted. I think it was halted because of the
because of the Koof.
Yeah, because of the Wu flu.
So they just finished filming season 3, so hopefully
I can't wait.
Hopefully they'll announce a release date probably by the time of New York Comic Con in October.
I'm hoping they do, because I mean, again, okay, so we got this show here, okay, and this show. The space battles in it didn't have any weight. The space battle in Orville, and you guys probably know which one I'm thinking of.
Identity. That was such a great episode. 2-parter.
The 2-parter.
It was like this. It was like Best of Both Worlds combined with the Sacrifice of Angels from Deep Space Nine. Oh, yes, so awesome! And there were stakes. The characters, there was high stakes with the characters. I mean, not only was there a space battle, but they were also being held hostage. And even the Norm Macdonald's snot character, I forget his name. He was a hero. We cared about him. I mean, what does that tell you?
Yeah,
we care more about a green thing of snot voiced by Norm Macdonald than anyone from the.
I love Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald's good. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, and I'm looking forward to season 3. Apparently, season 3 is going to build further. Probably, I don't know if it's going to go into a full scale war, but
I mean,
I think what I think is going to happen is I think the Mocklins are going to be on the side with the Kalon, which were the Isaac's people, and the ones that they're fighting.
Maybe
because it seems like the Mocklins are they're going to leave or something. They're going to leave the Union. I think that's going to be.
They might,
like
but
the Cardassians.
They might do that. Like that might be like the season finale cliffhanger.
Maybe
it might be. I mean, we don't know. There's many avenues that they can take with Orville.
Yeah,
there's so many, and that's the thing with Orville is that it's got a lot of humor, but it's also got deep lessons. It still has its classic Trek. It really is. It's got elements.
If I had my way, I'd wipe out New Trek and somehow try to make Orville. Orville takes place in 25th century, anyways. That should be the next step.
Yeah, you could say that.
Why couldn't CBS and Kurtzman do that? Why do they have to grapple onto existing characters or characters that have already existed?
What really needs to happen?
Them alone.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. You know what really needs to happen? First of all, Nerdporeal. Have you ever seen Star Trek Continues?
I have. I've talked. You should watch my layman's guide to Star Trek original series. I talk exactly about that because I say there's no finale to the original series. I say the best way to get a finale is to watch Star Trek Continues.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, what they need to do is give the show to Vic and Ron Moore.
Vic is canceled though. Vic cannot do any more anime because of something that happened a couple of years ago. They accused him
false
of
accusation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's like people. There's like I stand with Vic, or there's people saying kick Vic. So.
Well, I mean, it's like the same thing with Johnny Depp.
Can go die because they're fucking
basically everyone at Funimation, all the voice actors just completely turned on him.
Not all of them. They're the ones who support him. Just can't go public because, Funimation.
And then after that, he lost all of his
Hollywood.
Yeah, he lost all of his work. He lost all of his work within like a couple days.
Mm-hmm. But he's been getting it back pretty steadily over the last couple of years.
I mean, fans really like him. Fans really like him, and when he goes to a con, people will show up and stuff. He was banned from Las Vegas. He gets
lots of convention appearances. He still has work, and apparently he's still going to get. He's beginning to get roles again.
Well, he was at Anime Matsuri because I remember Rikeda and Star Wars Girl talking about how the line to get to Vic was like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. And if you guys are Vic Mignogna,
because people are not buying into this crap anymore.
No, it's especially with a lot of the stuff. And so, by the way, shout out to Nick Rikeda Law. Check out his YouTube channel. I love his channel. He's extensively covered this. He has shown tweets, emails, conversations, all sorts of stuff regarding Vic, Rontoye, Monica, the whole group. He has shown all sides of this, and you could say he's Jamie biased because Jamie Markey. I mean, he has shown so much of this. So if you really want to get the best idea of what's happened, and yes, I will say Nick is biased towards Vic. However, he has also shown everything that Ron Toye, Jamie Markey, Monica Rial, he has also shown everything that they have said and everything that supposedly they've presented. So he has shown their side too. So you could say he's in Vic's corner, but he's also shown all their stuff. So he
started out pretty neutral too.
I heard there was
what
jealousy
made him go
or something.
fully on board with Vic's side is how fucking awful the kick Vic side is.
Yeah.
So Rikeda Law, check out his YouTube channel. Shout out to Nick Rikeda on that. I've been following his stuff. It's incredible. But yeah, we're going to start wrapping this up because we're at over 2 hours and 21 minutes. And I'm sure we each have stuff we probably need to do.
Really?
There is one more thing I would like to say.
2 hours, 21 minutes, coming up on 2 hours, 22 minutes.
There is one more thing I would like to bring up, and that is the Neutral Zone film set in Georgia, which are having their monthly, where it's going to be monthly again. They take breaks in summer because, like I just said, is in Georgia, and it's a building with no AC. But the Neutral Zone Studios is a nonprofit company that owns and operates the film set that Vic basically helped build for basically the film set built to do Star Trek Continues. That film set is in Kingsland, Georgia. It is still put together. The people who own it now, who pay rent for the building, they allow people to film their fan films on that film set.
Really?
And every once a month, excluding the super hot months, because again, Georgia, they do a weekend, a fan appreciation weekend where they invite fans of Star Trek Continues, all of that, to come tour the set. This time it's 2 days. It's next month. It's going to be the 10th, or I'm sorry. Let me pull up my calendar real quick. The 11th and 12th. So usually 2 days, sometimes 3. I imagine they're doing it only 2 days because September is still kind of hot.
Mhm.
But one big reason I'm bringing this up, talking about Vic, is obviously it's Star Trek related, and anybody who likes Star Trek at all needs to get their ass down there while they're doing it. But also, Vic Mignogna goes down there and hosts the tours every time they do this. Literally every time. And I have met Vic half a dozen times with this.
Yeah. I would love to get there. I just don't know if I'll ever be able to. It's I'd have to fly into Jacksonville and make the drive up, which the flight and the rental car are going to cost me a decent amount. Plus, then you got to add in hotel and food and everything like that. So,
I mean,
and if I make the drive, it's like a 12-hour drive.
I'd pick you up from the fucking the fucking airport, and we could share my hotel room. I'm gonna get one with 2 beds.
I mean, maybe we could share the hotel room, but the thing is, if I'm flying into Florida, I'd still want to go visit my family because I figure if I'm in Florida, I can't just be like, "Hey, I was in Florida. I didn't bother at least seeing you for a day." So
Yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah, so go check that out. I don't know, Phil, if you can try post the link to it in the comments.
Oh yeah.
If you, I don't know if you can or can't. Let me.
I think I can if you make me a mod.
I have never done the mod shit.
All you gotta do is right click and then just make someone a mod.
I just commented
from
on the
chat.
stream, so you should be able to see it.
It hasn't popped up yet on my end. Well, I have your comment up here, but all it does is says put user in timeout, block user. Yeah, I don't know if you need a certain amount of subscribers before you get to that point.
Maybe you do.
You might need to, but
so.
but I mean, again, I'm just telling you what it shows on my end. But anyways, but try posting in the link.
Try it from are you trying to do it from StreamYards or YouTube directly?
StreamYards.
Do it from
Try
YouTube.
doing it from YouTube directly.
All right. Yeah.
That's how I do it. I promoted someone. I literally, whenever I make someone a mod, I say, I'm promoting you. I'm giving you power. Giving you power to silence people and stuff. So, yeah.
Oh, there we go. All right. All right. Phil, you're a mod. I just made him a mod. Okay. All right. Done.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. I've never had the need for mods, so it's like I've never bothered exploring it. So go check out that link that Phil just posted right there in the comments, okay, if you want more information on that. So we're gonna wrap this up.
It is absolutely amazing.
I mean, I've wanted to go.
You step into that film set, you will be on the Enterprise. It will legit feel like almost 100% authentic. You will think you're 10 years old again.
I'll have to check this out myself.
Yeah, I
How far are you from Georgia?
I'm in Chicago.
He's further than me.
Well,
I'm in Tennessee. I'm still.
If you can make it somehow, it is absolutely worth going.
Is this by Atlanta or something?
No, it's
literally half. It is half an hour north of Jacksonville, just over the border of just over the Florida-Georgia border.
Okay. And when do they do this?
It's going this month or next month rather. It's going to be the 11th and 12th. Although I'm going to arrive on the 10th because that's when I booked my hotel.
Yeah, I'm still. I spent a lot of money in Vegas last week, so I don't think I'm going to be doing the trip for a while.
Well, if you can, I believe they're going to be doing another one in October and maybe November. I hope.
Okay. I do want to visit eventually. That sounds pretty freaking awesome.
Oh my God, it is everything I'm making it out to be and more.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So go check it out. Like I said, for the in regards to what we were talking about Vic Mignon and that whole thing, go check out Nick Ricada at it's Ricada Law, right? That's the name of his YouTube channel.
Ricada Law.
Ricada Law. Go check out Ricada Law. He does like a couple live streams a week and everything, and he's guests on one or two other live streams during the week. But you have to go back a few years in his streams to find the Vic Mignogna stuff. But we're talking. He watches all.
Did you watch the recent Vic Mignogna thing that he did?
The interview?
Yeah.
Yes, I've watched that like 3 times.
Wait, how recent was this?
It was like a month ago, I think.
I'll have to go through his stuff. I thought I watched it, but I might not. Oh no! I started watching it, but I never got to finish it. So I'm probably just gonna rewatch.
Oh yeah, I should probably mention how much it's gonna cost. Nothing. It's free.
Yep. So all you're out then is if you're driving there, some gas and a hotel and a little bit for food. So it cost you less than it might cost you $100 maybe. 200 tops.
If you can make it in October, it's going to be also on the 23rd and 24th.
Is that a weekend?
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. That'd be an interesting weekend.
Yeah.
I'll have to consider that.
Yep. So
it is
we're gonna
recommended that you book a time on the website if you're going to go.
This was a lot of fun. I'd love to be on with you guys again. This was
oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
You're welcome on my channel anytime too.
See, I know Potato. I'm on Potato's server. Do you guys have Discord?
Oh yeah. That's I'm on. Damn, 12, 15 different Discord channels. I'm in your channel, so
another one.
Do you guys have your own servers or something? Or?
I tried starting mine, but nobody ever wanted to be in it because we all congregate in like 1 or 2 primarily. So
yeah.
So I might create mine. I just don't have like a massive following right now to justify a Discord channel because a lot of people that I'm also friends with are also friends with Revan. So we share them. So a lot of them are in his. So it's kind of like, so
promote the hell.
Yep, it's in November and December too.
Okay, promote the hell of your content on my stream too. I'm trying to like get everyone to participate and stuff. So
yeah,
I've only had my server for like a month or for like 3 to 4 weeks now. I already got like over 100 people. So.
Yeah, I might create it and just go there and then just start plugging the hell out of that. So,
but you guys are always welcome to. I mean, I have the category for venting, and one of those channels is New Trek.
Oh, I can't type fast enough to get my thoughts out because with ADHD.
It's the same with me.
I stutter. I stutter because my mind goes way faster than my mouth can talk. So, but we're gonna start wrapping this up because we will go all night probably. So
that could be fun.
No, it would be. But yeah, we're definitely gonna have Nerdporeal back on. Probably next stream we might do with you, brother, is go all through all the Trek movies because there's not as many of them, but you can break down some of them more than you can others.
I can also do. I mean, before I even became a Star Trek fan, I was a big Star Wars fan too. So,
dude,
I could go on forever about how I feel about the stuff that Disney did.
Yeah. I'm just gonna show that. Just gonna show that. I got more too, but. I'm
a big original trilogy fan. I mean, I'm not as big. I like the prequels. I don't like them as much as the originals, but I really like the prequels. I think it's the most interesting era, in my opinion. Compared to, I mean, even though the original trilogy is still my favorite trilogy, I think the prequel era is the most interesting era for world building and stuff. And that's why I like the prequels a lot because it did a lot of world building. And people disagree, but I really like the Jedi characters a lot. I liked Qui-Gon Jinn. I liked Obi-Wan. Anakin grew on me. I initially didn't like him in episode 2, but he kind of grew on me. I liked him in episode 3. I just didn't like how he turned, ultimately. That was my major gripe with 3. But episode 3 is my 3rd favorite Star Wars after
It is
Star
with
Wars
many.
and Empire.
Yeah, it is. It is with many, and OG Star Wars, always at the tip top. But prequels have a special place in my heart because in '99, that was the first trilogy that I was actually alive for.
It's the same
So,
here. I was born the year after Jedi came out.
okay, yeah, I was born in late '80s, so I never got to enjoy that hype. So being able to enjoy that hype and seeing it and smelling it and living it and it being all over the news for 3 movies.
Yeah. I remember. I just couldn't stand. I'll be honest. I was one of my gripes with episode 1 was Jar Jar Binks.
He was for a lot of people, but do you know what? I don't hate Jar Jar. Is he my favorite character? No, I don't hate on him and wish death upon him like many.
I mean, he was poorly written. Like the whole time he was cowardly.
Mm-hmm.
The moment for him to shine should have been during that battle where he saved several lives and stuff. What do we see instead? I give up. I give up. I give up. Remember?
Yeah,
I mean, this was Lucas attempting to be funny, but this wasn't funny.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think that might be the best argument for why Jar Jar's probably not liked is that it's not that he was a bad character; he was just poorly written character.
And unlike unlike Disney, Lucas actually listened to the feedback and he significantly reduced Jar Jar's role in episode 2, and then he was only in. And then he didn't even speak in episode 3. You see him in one scene at the funeral. Of Padme, and he's grieving, and that was probably that was it. That was a really good. That was a heartfelt scene.
Yeah.
And if he would have spoken, it would have killed it.
It probably would have, yeah. But I mean, we got there's so many streams I want to do. I
had a blast doing this. So you guys are a lot of fun. So
yeah, man, it was. I love just talking shit about sci-fi, and this is something I constantly point out. We all three differ when it came to the seasons as to what we like, what we didn't like, the order of the seasons, everything. But do you know what? We still had good conversation.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about.
We can disagree. We can even disagree on who's better, Kirk or Picard. It's Cisco, by the way. Trick question.
Oh, you're gonna say if it's Kirk or Picard, it's definitely Kirk. Picard got ruined.
Thank you.
He's dead.
It would have been Picard before. For me, it would have been Picard before.
Do you think that was Blue Shirt Picard from Tapestry? Do you think that was Picard? Do you think that was Blue Shirt Picard?
Oh,
I don't think so because Picard would have never made Admiral if it was Blue Shirt Picard.
Because remember, Picard being Admiral.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I know, but that's
anything. He was just a daughterly old man that
didn't
know what he was doing.
Well, I mean, they're also using Discovery designed shuttles in 40 years after Insurrection. Not Insurrection, Nemesis. So But hey, let's save on the budget and just reuse ships from however. Anyway, okay. All right, we're gonna end it here because we're just gonna keep going, and I gotta try and find something to eat. I ate some before the stream, but a couple hours later, your body starts to need more food. So I'm gonna we're gonna break right here. I want to thank Phil for being here. I want to thank Revan for being here. I want to thank Nerdporeal. Thank you, brother. You were a special guest. It was an honor having you here. If you haven't checked out Phil's channel, it's in the description. Philip Kilroy. I think that's your channel name. Right? Kilroy was here. Sorry. Kilroy was here is the name of his channel. He does gaming streams over there. He's done a Titanic one. He's done Star Trek Legacy. And I think we even some Star Trek Online, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd like to do another Star Trek Online stream soon.
Yeah. So go check out his channel.
Nerdporeal, if you play STO, you're welcome to join.
I've never played an MMO or I've never played an online game.
Okay.
It's a bit different. If you got a good group, it's fun. Solo, it can be.
I'd love to watch though. I'd love to watch. Or if you wouldn't mind hitting me on, I could just comment, ask questions.
Yeah,
sure.
I don't think that'd be an issue at all.
I mean, we usually when I do gaming streams, I don't use StreamYards like Revan does. I I do
OBS?
just use Streamlabs OBS. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I
And
use
then
for
when
my.
I have people on, when I have people on my stream, when we do gaming streams, I'll just have a Discord chat open, and that the audio from that will become the audio for the game or the
I have to
stream.
figure out how to do that myself. That'd be an interesting thing.
I'm sure you two can at some point figure that out together and how to set that up and everything. So
Sure.
yeah, but Kilroy was here. Go check out his channel, his YouTube link in the description. Nerdporeal Lifeform. You want to show yourself out, any?
Sure. I have a channel. It's called the Nerdporeal Lifeform. Same name. I do movie reviews, video game retrospectives. I do a weekly stream of me playing a video game. Usually, it's an older game, but that could change in the future. And my relevant Star Trek videos, I did a video called the Layman's Guide to the Star Trek: The Original Series, and I'd made a trailer for the original 6 films in the vein of the Star Wars trilogy VHS trailer. And I did a video on how to watch the original 6 films, what order to watch them in. So without giving away any spoilers. So I want to do something similar for TNG, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, and then eventually, the Orville and Babylon 5, a layman's guide without giving away too much of the story. I mean, giving away just enough to interest the normie, because I know a lot of normies. So,
yep, same here.
So yeah, but right now my project I'm working on, I've been working on. I haven't had a lot of time because I started being on other people's streams, and plus the Discord things taking up a lot of time, and of course work. I mean, my next project is my review of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm still writing it.
Ooh, that's gonna be good.
So that, and then I'm going to do my next video game retrospective will be 40 years of Donkey Kong, because Donkey Kong turned 40 this year. So I'm going to do something like that. That's kind of why I'm playing the Donkey Kong Country games the last few weeks. So that's going to be coming up, and then the fall's coming up. And I'm going to be doing something called serial horror sessions, where I do quick reviews of horror films and stuff. So
I won't be watching that.
You should get Farv in on. You should get Farv in on some of that, because he's a big horror movie guy.
Yeah. So awesome. So if any of y'all have not gone to his channel, check out Nerdporeal Lifeform. All right, subscribe, support him. We got to support each other as YouTube creators, because the algorithm isn't exactly friendly to small-time YouTubers, people who don't have a couple thousand. If you fall below a couple thousand, you're kind of forgotten about by the algorithm to a degree. So we got to support each other. We got to support each other and stand strong together. A few people that weren't here, that are guests at times. Revan, his link is in the bio. Go check him out. I do streams with him as well. We just did Jackbox stream yesterday. We've done we've done streams on so many different topics. I can't always remember what they are all on, but go check his channel out. Support him. Farvithian Guard, Farvy's another member. Go check his channel out. He does also retro gaming stuff too. Some of it's newer, but it has that retro kind of feel to it. Go check his channel out. All right, Farvithian Guard, links in the description. Also, Katala Laris, go check out her channel. She does Guild Wars 2 streams once or twice a week, typically. Go check her channel out. Great conversation, fun to watch. Insanity always ensues. That's always a guarantee. That's the promise she makes. Insanity will always ensue whenever there's a stream. Last one, and then we're done. I promise. Last shill, and we're done. Another member, Armchair Warlord, has written a book. It's called The Maiden's War.
And is almost done with his sequel.
Which he says should be out by Christmas of next year at the latest. So his link for his book is in the description. Check it out. It's got good reviews. He's talking about maybe doing an audio version. He's talked about it. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. So go check out his book. Support independent creators like him, because once High Republic and Marvel and all these other people burn down to the ground because they can't support themselves, independent creators is what we're going to get new good content from. So support Armchair and others like him out there with books and comics, video games, etc. All right. So check him out. Like I said, link to his book is in the description. So again, I want to thank Phil, I want to thank Nerdporeal. I want to thank everyone that's watched. Thank you for being here for nearly 2 hours and 45 minutes. This is the longest we've ever streamed. I could keep going on for hours, but at some point my body would kill me because I would have not eaten. So, on that note,
in a while.
Say what?
I said it's certainly the longest stream we've done in a while.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, but anyways, thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe to the channel. Means a lot to me. I never take subscribers for granted. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next time. Later, y'all.